1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. One, two, 1, 2, and radio check, radio check. Radio check. Checking audio. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Okay, we're good. Okay, sorry about that, folks. We are back. And my apologies. We will probably just keep this stream running for the next one. So thank you for your patience. I don't know what is going on, but we will do our best to try and get we'll try and get everything running properly now. So let's get everybody ready to race as things stand. Just to confirm the qualifying results: Junkai, Vic, Fasia, Zen, Asian Persuasion, Glovas, and Captain Badonkadonk with Komakopa in P8. Safety car will be lap 11. We were not expecting many in the way of laps today. TX Junior, Izzy, Chaotica, Bongit, with Preston starting at the back with our Saito as well. So that's how things are shaping up. Please reassure me in the live chat that you've managed to find us and you've managed to see what's happening. You can hear me, you can hear game audio. I can't show you cars moving, but you should be able to see a small dot moving on the screen and the cameras moving as well. So thanks so much, Kuroskai. I really appreciate it. I don't want to take the plug out of the controller again. The race is ready to go. I'm going to leave everything as it is running, and golden rule is never touch a never touch a working system. So okay, let's find out what's happening in terms of the grid. We have got Junkai and Vic with Fasia and Zen, the front four cars, an all new, all pink livery for the Italian Vic and Zen as the drivers get ready to get underway. Sorry, and Zen and Fasia, it is drop the clutch and go, go, go in Kyoto driving park, and immediately Junkai is away very well in the Renault. Zen's looking good up the inside as well, and both of the pink Lamborghinis for the distinguished gentlemen are hanging on to their positions as things stand, racing hard tyres for Face, and I think most of the other drivers will be starting on those hard tyres. We have been moving towards a two-stop race there as Captain Badonkadonk gets hammered into a corner, but then we've got another problem, further contact for the Lebanese Captain Badonkadonk, and he holds on absolutely bravely, but I think he's then drifted out super wide and will be at the back of the grid. There indeed he is, back in 14th place. Junkai leads ahead of Vic, who is building the speed now and getting very deep into the brakes and almost colliding with the back of the Renault RS as he's in between the two teammates. It is Renault Lambo as our order stands at the moment as we run down in towards that difficult sector now of turn 12. Just one right hand corner and Fasia holds on. Vic is still nibbling away. Zen did the over and under and comes back through, and he can't quite find his way in. Zen stuck on the outside this time through the chicane. He'll be defending from a very similarly coloured Globus in the Mountain Dew livery scheme, and we've got Asian Persuasion in the Joker livery today. Hopefully not joking around too much. There is Izzy in P10, and he's absolutely bodies this down the inside goes Captain Badonkadonk's Preston, just winding his way through that difficult hairpin interchange. Looks like Bongard has gone for a copy of the Team AO Racing livery for this month of October. We'll look at that in more detail later on, but Junkai leads convincingly ahead of Vic by just half a second as they round over the crest and go through that very quick S section of the racetrack. There is Zen in P4. Can't really live with the pace of the cars in front. And then we've got another issue, and that looked like the second of the Joker cars. That's Junior getting a little bit loose on the way through here as Captain Badonkadonk slides his way into the final corner. We've got three wide situation going on with the two Ford GTs and the Porsche on the outside of Bongit. Can't find a way through as the The GTs hang on to their position 10 and 11 in front of them. The matte black captain, but I'm going to go. Right, okay, sorry, I just got a view of the chat, and I thought Larry was telling me to restart again, and I was getting a little bit nervous there. But hey to everybody who has managed to find their way through. So I'm in the 919 Webbo. I really don't know what you're saying. Sorry, Larry, you're confusing me now. I think I've got myself a little bit flustered on the way through. But there is Chaotica round the outside, who has had a difficult situation with the start of this race, but found his way around Preston. Have to say, Preston struggling for pace, couldn't get a lap in qualifying, and is now down back to where he started, the back of the grid, as our Saito waits the customary long hold in the pit lane for our safety car driver. It is purple lap, of course, on lap 2. It's for everybody. It's Vic, 0.7 of a second away. And I need to get myself a good look at who exactly the distinguished team are repping today. I can see Seiko, the watch manufacturer, but I'm not entirely sure if that is entirely who they are repping. Whether it is Cherry Blossom livery pink for a Japanese race. There is Asian Persuasion, and he was mowing the lawn with his Lexus RCF. Stunning car. Great livery this week as well. And then we've got Komakopa in Team Drive-Thru, who are who are fully caffeinated for today's race. Beautiful, absolutely stunning liveries out there today, and I can't wait to dive in and get a good close look at them all. Junkai Vic Fassiar, your top 3 as the drivers come through. Izzy ahead of his teammate in the Ford GT, with Bonget then running in the I guess fossilized Rex livery. This is actually for the Vancouver Canucks in the Porsche, as we go through. Chaotica in 13th, and then Preston possibly suffering a little bit lack of practice, and this is a very technical, difficult circuit made doubly hard in reverse, as it looks like now Fassiar has made his way by past Zen. Let's have a quick look if we can't see a replay of the start. We'll run through and try and find you a good view of this as they came through. Asian Persuasion on the inside next to Captain Badonkadonk. There was the contact, and squeezing through goes Globas as the seas parted in front of him, and then something went wrong in behind him as well. Captain Badonkadonk all over the road and then way out on the grass. He tried to hold on for the longest time possible but couldn't quite get there. That was what went down at the start of the race, and it is Globas running fastest of all at the moment. He's in every single driving event I can see on Deviant, but it doesn't slow him here in the GTD Pro League. Globas for Team Mountain Dew, trying to lift the Mountain Dew team, one of the oldest teams and traditions, of course, here in Deviant Racing. But at the bottom of the table at the moment, this early stage of proceedings in the championship. But he's a quarter of a second faster than he and anyone else has been before through the end of Sector 4. This is Sector 5, just that tiny little one corner turn. And then another difficult chicane. Everything about this racetrack is difficult, I have to say. And he's out on the grass, and so is Asian Persuasion, who doesn't mind getting his tyres dirty out there. It's Asian Persuasion in P6. Everybody, I think, on the hard tyre. Unfortunately, it does seem like the two-stop predominant races have converged our strategies. Everyone is going to try and get themselves through to the end of lap 11. A little bit of contact there between Izzy, I think, and TX Speedstars, who make contact through the hairpin, and uphill we go into that tricky turn 6 as we turn right, and the Porsche of Bonget actually managing to get a good run through turn 6, and they'll be side by side as we head into the S's here behind Izzy. I hope there'll be enough space left. TX just getting the tail ahead on the way through, but a massive slide from TX as he goes through, and I have to say, incredible hold there from him. Let's have a look as we'll watch this from the Porsche. Watch TX hang the tail out on this right-hander. fabulous stuff from him as he holds on for now at least, but plenty of fighting going on as Bonget breaking down on the inside lane on the way into turn 19 as we head on out. Plenty of action on the way through. Preston down in 14th place, and Junkai and Vic continue their battle. Fassiar still has Zen right behind him as well. Lambo Renault is the order at the moment, and Junkai holds on in the 85 with Vic there in P2, and I'm sure waiting for a good opportunity. The gap between P2 and P3, some 2.6 seconds at this stage. Fassiar looking in his mirrors a great deal, I imagine, but generating a little bit of speed through the first 3 sectors of this lap. Behind him is Zen. Big Runks cheering on Preston. Why didn't I know that Big Runks was in Deviant as well? Have you gone by a different name in Deviant, Runks? Because I was racing with you yesterday in the league that shall not be named. So Fassiar ahead here, getting a good run through there as Zen goes around. That looks like Glovas still defending hard against Asian Persuasion on the way through. Asian Persuasion hoping that the Japanese gods look down on him favourably today. I like the effect for Glovas, who's gone for a mirror version of the Mountain Dew livery, Mountain Dew logo on his right-hand side of the car, rather than having the logo orientated the wrong way, essentially, for his design. As we run through then the S section, up ahead though, Zen tucked up, and it's Fassiar who's had an accident, and unfortunately for Zen, that has collected Zen and almost the drivers going behind him. Huge moment then. This is what happened from Zen's perspective. Fassiar turns in, things looking pretty normal, but it's this right-hander that unsettles the car a little bit. Fassiar off the track, nothing Zen could do, nothing at all Zen could do, but how did the guys following behind manage to avoid that contact in the end? So Zen down to 12th position, Fassiar in 14th with that at least temporary damage on the car at the moment, so big moment for him. Big Run saying I'm an ACC only guy. Fantastic. Okay, well, thank you for joining us here on a GT7 race nonetheless. That's great. Great that you're back, so thanks so much. Now I finally understand, Larry, what you've said about the Porsche 919. Yes, I was practicing that earlier. I've got a race next Sunday at the Nürburgring in that absolute beast, and it is very difficult to drive in the Nürburgring as well with the in VR. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. Big Runks, my captain across in the other league, I'm assuming. Great. Okay, so Junkai ahead of Vic by just 0.4 of a second, as Vic will join him on board, shall we, as we look for that opening, or at least look to put as much pressure on as possible. But we see what's happened there with with getting so close to the car in front that you pressurize them into a mistake in the S's. And as far as Zen's concerned, absolutely nothing you can do when they then make the error you've been forcing them into, or trying to anyway. So lots to think about. A little bit of contact possibly between Vic and Junkai through that hairpin. Vic clearly waiting and expecting to get past here soon enough. Very short straights though, so it is about relying on a mistake happening as Vic is running. It's lap 5. Remember, we're waiting for that safety car on lap 11. So still some time to go. 1 hour we race for here in the GTD Pro and GTD races that will follow this one. The GTD are the second tier of the GT World Challenge or GT World Cup. I'm not quite sure what we're calling it these days. But again, that is something we can discuss another time. I hope you enjoyed the sponsorship video at the start of the race, of course, advertising Vic's Pizza. And if you didn't get it, well, I'll try and let that play through the break. Here is Asian Persuasion in P3. Got a small gap of a second behind him to Glovas in the Mercedes. Probably managing the wear rate on the tyre at this stage. Look at that front left. This is just 6 laps in. We're trying to make it to lap 11 on the tyre if we can. We've got to change compound, as Copa showing well in the Ferrari as well, and just hopping over the curb slightly. But Copa, the front left, absolutely being destroyed here. at Kyoto Driving Park today. Captain Badonkadonk in a very dark and mysterious, possibly an October or Halloween themed livery here today. Not sticking to the team drive-through colour scheme, but I think reserving for the team. I think we allow that none the way. But Visit Gotham is a tourist Sign 4 Junior here, showing well once again in P7, the second of the two Lexi. Leslie M, woo go baby daddy. Leslie, you're going to have to be more specific. I'm sure there are lots of baby daddies here in Deviant Racing League, but Izzy, I digress. Izzy in P8, TX in P9. We've got Chaotica in 10th place. Bongit showing in 11th. The Porsches and Ford GT cars showing very close racing. Zen, after his collision, down in 12th with Fassiar, who he collided with, in 13th, and Preston at the back in 14th place. Back to the front battle though, it's 0.6 of a second between our Italian maestro Vic and Junkai in the Renault as they head over that crest and in towards the S's. Vic just getting gapped slightly the last few times we've seen, and just over track limits there. We'll just wait to see if there is a warning on his car, but this is that tyre wear taking effect. Look how he has protected that front left tyre though, in comparison to particularly the Mercedes that we saw. So Y2K XJ, Dadson is Roy Mustang. It's Roy Mustang Jr. Hence why I'm referring to him as Junior. That is the preference of Team Dadson, which is Roy Mustang. Yes, indeed, you are absolutely right to call that one out. So Larry's saying he's doing great. Leslie, again, needs some information on who Leslie's baby daddy is. There is Junkai in P1. Vic having a look down the inside. So we're having a good try here. Captain Badonkadonk, the revelation on his debut last race, showing a P6 as Vic closes in here. Leslie married to Izzy. Fantastic. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. So Izzy in 8th position in VR, as is Karma Copa, and I believe Preston as well, at very least here. This is Vic, as we will join him on board and try to find a weakness in the Junkai game. Yes, indeed. Junior's a busy little fella. Holy smokes, says Big Rugs. You're absolutely right. And yeah, congratulations to the Izzy and Leslie family on the birth of baby Leia. We all very much appreciate and admire the name. So this is Vic. A big gap behind here, 9.6 seconds as these two lift each other to new levels of pace. Junkai and Vic. This is a great showing from Junkai. Good morning from Wisconsin. Jose Garcia joins us from the Cheese State, if I'm not mistaken. Good morning to you, indeed. It's mid-afternoon here in the UK as Vic, that's almost his line at this stage, I think. Fabulous paint effect at the moment. Junkai front left complaining in a big way. It is slightly more worn than on Vic's Lambo. As the gap between the two, just 1/4 of a second as they cross the line to start lap 8. Vic closer than he's been so far, looks to the inside, there's no way through. Junkai takes his conventional line through there. I'm going to take issue with that, Big Runks, because you don't get to make cheddar, frankly, if you're not from Cheddar in the UK. Have to name your cheese and create your own cheese. Here we go, Vic down the inside into the first of our tight hairpins, and it's side-by-side action between the two. And once again, Junkai hitting that traction zone on the outside lane much more comfortably in the Renault, but now he's defending, and that's exactly what Vic wants to happen. He's looking for an opportunity here. Can he go outside, inside, get on the throttle that tiny bit earlier? and he's doing his best. Cheese and Dairy State, says Jose Garcia. Fantastic. Okay. Just have memories of people, the cheeseheads. Just perfected what was already good cheese. Have you been to the UK and actually had real cheddar, big runks? Because otherwise, I think you need to hang on there. There is something to do with the way that cheese is pasteurized or not in the US. I think it's the way the cheese is pasteurized that prevents a certain amount of maturation that we have here in the UK. Junkai just weaving slightly wide. That should give a good opportunity here to Vic as he gets tucked in underneath the rather tall and wide Renault RS04. Vic has to be now, surely down the inside we try. Vic's got the better grip on the inside for a moment, and this inevitable contact between the two. Vic sliding his way out of turn 6, and he can't find his way through, and he will keep on pushing. Vic and Junkai still racing hard, but racing a lot slower at this stage thanks to the tyre wear. We are just 19 minutes into the race so far. It is still lap 8. It's been lap 8 for 15 minutes at this point, but Vic is following through the final of the corners in this reverse configuration through the 110R or 110 meter radius corner. As Vic crosses the line, then we're waiting on that safety car. They're trying to get through. I do want to make sure we have a look at how those how that Mercedes is looking, and there it is. You can see the Mercedes really struggling, and Globas into the pits ahead of all the European cars, and that is a big problem for him. The European and Asian cars, in fact, that are able to protect those tyres better than the Mercedes at this point. Ferrari, Lexus, Renault, and Lamborghini all doing a-okay. How are the well, the Ford GTs are looking good. It's just the Mercedes that are really struggling. The Chaotica's Porsche front left isn't looking too good at the moment. Pit requirements is one change of compound, Y2K Jeep XJ. I'll refer to you as Jeep. So yeah, absolutely. So as we go through, Chaotica in P8, Zen in P9, Bonget in P10. And Big Runk says, the UK trip is on the bucket list. I want genuine article Guinness. You need to go to Dublin for genuine Guinness in Ireland, which isn't technically part of the UK, but I'm sure that distinction doesn't make a great deal of difference to people stateside, unless you're of Irish descent. But I have to say that Dublin Guinness is a step above what we get here in the UK, in England, certainly. I think they keep the best for themselves. Much as the French do with their wine. It is Izzy in 12th, Globas in 13th, just come out of the pits ahead of his teammate there with soft tyres on for Globas. He's going to go for a quick sprint, change tyres, and then potentially try a harder compound on the second run again. It's Bert Macklin, Jeep. Thanks, Bert. I appreciate it. It's great to have so many of you join here from Black Flag. I don't know how you've all found the video today. I didn't actually advertise it at Black Flag, but I appreciate the subscription if that's the way you found your way in. And all the buttons being pressed at the bottom of the video today would be big thanks. Same island, so I can hit all the stops. If you're going, well, yes, Dublin is on a slightly different island, but it is just across the water. So make sure you get to Dublin if you can and try the real deal Guinness. Into the pit lane then come the drivers at the end of lap 9. This is the leaders coming in. They are done with their tyres. We'll see what Asian Persuasion decides to do, because surely the safety car is on his way. Asian Persuasion, Dog Eater on the way into the pit lane there into in P3 as Captain Badonka Makopa. Everyone is going to pit ahead of the safety car, so they're not going to get a cheap pit stop, but it's somewhat nullified if we all do exactly the same thing. All the top 10 coming in on this lap. Let's see what kind of an undercut Globas has managed to do here. I think he was running P4 or 5 earlier on, so we'll keep an eye on him as Izzy is about to pit, and Globas then, now potentially he could pick up some positions here, because he's been running well, he was a 222 252 back with a 223 again on his in-out shake it all about laps. It's P9 right now, and he's back up to P4. So not a huge undercut. In fact, he's out just behind Asian Persuasion, which I think is roughly where he was before. Junkai and Vic will continue, but the the safety car driver will be waiting as they are just heading through the first of our tight hairpins here at the Kyoto driving park. Full configuration, full distance here of the racetrack. Don't forget, coming up on the channel straight after this race, we'll have a pause, but I'll probably leave the video running, the stream running, if everything is working a-okay towards the end, and we will go straight into the GTD race, which is identical conditions, GT4 cars, same racing conditions for everybody. Junkai just letting Vic get away here. Well, Vic has managed to make that undercut work. How did he make that happen? Because frankly, he had the same amount of fuel going in, as far as I can see, unless he managed to use slightly less fuel and therefore had a shorter period of being stationary for the refueling, or he just had a favourable pit box there on the pit lane. But Vic comes through into what is turn 6 at the far northwest of the circuit, and the safety car driver will be making his preparations. Saito probably wants to click the button pretty soon, as Vic is leading Junkai into the S's there at the north edge of our Kyoto driving park. Vic, your leader, he's on medium tyres. Junkai's done the same thing, but I fully expect the drivers to have to pit again at the end of the race under green flag conditions. So the safety car driver will be getting ready as they come through the final corner. Yes, the safety car driver Saito is on his way out of the pit lane. We will see him come out. Hopefully he won't pick up a penalty here today, but there he is in the Mercedes safety car, lights ablaze, and all drivers as they cross the line have to reduce speed down to 65 to 70 miles an hour as we run through, and then absolutely no point in the drivers taking any chances now. Here we go. Let's do some livery review then while we've got some daylight and some good running. It is the Issey Miyake and Seiko, or Grand Seiko Distinguished Gentleman livery today. This is definitely a bold choice when it comes to a colour scheme, and I love how unified all the colours appear to be. That metallic pink does look very, very good in the Japanese sunshine, and the Seiko distinguished team looking very good in the Lamborghini. We've seen this. I don't see any new changes to the to Junkai and Zen's Renault this time round. Unfortunately, I think it's Team OG, I believe, as the Team Mountain Dew, or the Dew crew, in association with Motubo. Do look up Motubo, as it is the Dew Charge with raspberry citrus flavour and ginseng with other natural flavours. I do like the stay back message there, but this is the Mountain Dew Voltage colour scheme. Very good, very neat livery once again from Globas. How he finds the time, I do not know. This is the confusing one for me. This is Dog Eater and Junior. I think they are part of the Rebel Racing crew, and they are picking rebels, famous rebels, I'm guessing. And what does it say on the rear wing? Why so serious? Naturally, Visit Gotham and a Heath Ledger Joker there. Great colour scheme. Really like those spots on the side as well. Looking really good. If Gus is watching, or Charlie, I'd love to hear from their reviews. Really like the colour scheme and the Starbucks for Team Drive-Through Racing, celebrating all that is great and good about drive-through restaurants, cafes, and facilities. There, it's got an extra set of headlight stickers. It seems has Comacopa in the Starbucks Ferrari. Very subtle colour scheme with a sort of digitized skull Terminator style approach here for Captain Badonkadonk, who is reserving in the Ferrari as far as I'm aware. Ripple are the sponsors of the Ford GT driven by TX Speedstars, and again a really good sympathetic livery to the cut and shut lines for Team Speedstars. Again, we've seen this one for Preston. Zen in the blue and yellow, famous Renault and Michelin racing colours there, as we have the Porsche. This time in the Washington Capitals hockey team colour scheme for Team Cross Border Competition. That is very red, white, and blue. That is not particularly Canadian, but hey, it's the Capitals. As then we've got the Vancouver Canucks, and I love the way that they've got the teeth on the front there. I'm not sure. I think that might be an orca, possibly the Canucks. I don't know what animal mascot is a Canuck, if it is anything. But if you have a look at Team AO Racing at the Petit Le Mans, I think this weekend, you'll see the new AO Racing Rexy version. Looks really good out there as well. No change for Izzy. Fassiar gets ready to get underway. I think he's in the same livery. I don't see any major changes on there. Thank you for the Webbo com stickers as usual. Into the pits comes Preston after just that short run on the soft tyres. As we Joker car is overdone, says Runks. Not my favourite. I understand that. I think this is a nice new version of it, but I do have some sympathy for what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah, Bonga in an NHL livery. The Canucks looks fire, says Jose Garcia. So that's your pick. I'm really struggling today. I love Comacopa's Starbucks, but I do have a bit of a soft spot for Starbucks. I shouldn't, but I do. I enjoy a Starbucks coffee. And I do like the boldness of the distinguished gentleman. Although I'm not 100% sure that it works with Seco, but so I think I'm gonna have to go with Comacopa's as my pick. Even it may not be the brightest or shiniest out there, but there's a sort of mint kind of feel to it as well, like a mint frappuccino on the back there. You can see as well. Jose saying Starbucks is okay. It is okay. It's pretty safe, isn't it? But I do tend to pick out an independent place, even if I get worse service and worse coffee as a result. But yeah, I do try to pick out independent coffee shops wherever I can. It is Vic leading the way then. He's on the medium tyres. Let's just do a quick tyre run. Mediums for most people. Comacopa's gone hard. He will have to switch compound at the end of the race. Maybe, now that we're up to half distance, that will bring in the soft tyres as an option later. Anyone on mediums will for sure stop again, as far as I'm aware. I don't think this track is going to allow anybody to one stop today. And we have Zen. So pretty much everybody. We've got Kyoto gone for a second set of hards as well, as has Bongit and Izzy. Fassiar is on the mediums. He's the sort of A strategy today. Preston has pitted, come back on the hard tyres, as has Glovis. Our Saito is on the safety car. He's in soft tyres if you're interested. It doesn't really matter. I think we could have got away with one safety car lap today, but the drivers appreciate the rest and the ability to just preserve their tyres. But the fuel is still burning off on this run. Half distance in the timed race of a 1 hour race, as usual, as we look forward to seeing exactly what the drivers are going to be able to do here on the final run of the race. But yes, the Rebel Racing rookies are picking famous rebels or famous rebellions to represent on their liveries. Be looking out for Binkit in the next race. I don't think he's able to show this time, but I think Brum will be repping the new livery this time out. Of course, double the work this season for livery builders, because you've got to do a GT3 and a GT4 car. And I think it probably was a little bit easier to do special liveries across divisions when we had the same. Junkai has pulled to one side. The new safety car rules are in effect. They are F1 style, meaning that Vic, the leader of the race, gets to choose when to press the loud pedal up until the start-finish line here. And we will go green flag as soon as Vic presses go, and he presses go right now. He's still got the blinkers on, but it doesn't matter because he is launching. It is green flag racing. Asian Persuasion getting a good launch against Junkai, but Junkai still has the inside line as we head down into the first corner. Asian Persuasion absolutely bossing that restart, and then a contact, I think, between TX and Comacopa. Captain Badonkodonk stranded way out wide on the outside, doesn't want to hit his teammate as they run through the first and second sectors. Comacopa are all over the road trying to hold on here as Captain Badonkodonk, his teammate, safely regathers his pace. Zen has got TX down the inside. Zen is going for it though. He wouldn't surprise me if Zen goes for a late move down the inside into this corner, and the captain is out on the on the dirty side of the track, and Zen through into P6. Copa up into 5th. We've got the junior car here, and that was, wow! How on earth is Asian Persuasion making this one stick? He's on the racing medium tyres, but he's gone for the move on the way into for the lead of the race. Here it was, side by side with Vic, who's on the inside lane on the Lamborghini, but it's easy enough here, and then straight through from Dog Eater from our other league, and straight into the lead of the race. So a great restart then from Asian Persuasion in the Lexus. It has top speed, but it's not the most manoeuvrable or protective of its tyre wear, is that Lexus RCF, as Vic goes for a late apex. Might end up with Junkai coming down the inside here, but Junkai still very much in with a shot. Everybody in this front group are on the medium tyres. Junior has moved his way up into P4. Great restart from lots of drivers, but particularly you've got to shout for Noah Asian Dog. To give him all 3 versions of his names, but it's Junkai in P3. Vic, I imagine, feeling a little bit miffed there to be bested on the opening green flag lap, but Vic going for the outside-inside move through the S's. You've just got to be patient through here unless the car in front makes a mistake. You've got to build your pace, because they will take all the clean air off your front wing and nullify your downforce through there if you're not careful. Vic in P2 at the moment, and the front 4 starting to pull away. Copa will be feeling like he can get in the mix here if they all start to cross swords. It's Vic protecting the car on the way into the inside lane. Junkai thought about it for a moment, but Vic positioning the car and holding that apex firmly as Asian Persuasion, Vic, Junkai and Junior compete and contest those top 4 positions. Junkai is right with Vic here, who for the first time really has had to be very, very defensive. Junkai is going to leave the door open, and Junior may well go for it. You have to say, Junior, one of the most controlled young men I've ever seen racing. He is an absolute phenomenon. And he gets involved in so few accidents. There you can see it, being conservative, taking his time, not getting involved too early, not going for a gap that doesn't exist, and waiting. And he gets into P3 on the outside run. He may even be able to sweep round the outside here. It is better grip. It's a slightly banked corner. He'll keep his foot planted as long as possible. Junkai is right there, but the next corner will be a left-hander. Junior just yielding slightly to the inside. Junkai holding on perfectly. And as they run through, this could not be much closer. It is 1/4 of a second only between P3 and P4. Copa and Zen are locked in battle, as well as Vic is trying to make a move up front. It is, you don't know where to look. Vic not letting Asian Persuasion in the Lexus get away, but it is absolutely a thrill ride here at the roller coaster of Kyoto Driving Park. Vic feeling the need to flash the lights now on Asian Persuasion. An indication perhaps that Vic is losing a little bit of patience there in the number 6. Different lines going on into the corner. We'll be hoping that he can just get the car to grip in on the late run through. There is Zen almost pushing Copa through turn 6 as they head into the S's. Let's see, can they go side by side? There's twice amount of contact on the way through here. Copa will hold firm, no doubt about it, and holds on there into P5. TX chasing down, and they are backing each other into the clutches of TX as they run through then the difficult final corner on the circuit, crossing over to start lap 15. Go Copa, Zen and TX. Copa's left the inside open here. He might get overtaken by 2 cars, but he's taking a classic smooth racing line through. It looks like Zen has got his way ahead. There goes Zen into P5 and well ahead before the next difficult chicane up front, though. That is a 2-second gap between P5 and P4. Junkai and Vic continue to fight. This is allowing Asian Persuasion and possibly even Junior to get ahead, but that was Asian, who's just had a problem coming through the corner. So he's now brought himself into what is now a 3-way battle for P1, 2, 3, possibly even 4th place. He's going to try and get a sniff at this one. I don't think we've seen a closer battle at the front in many races here at Deviant Racing League. This is tremendous from this group. I think Zen will be hungry to get in the mix as well, as Vic is very wide, running through that long right-hander of the official turn 12 of the racetrack, the one that is its own sector, and running then in towards what is a big stop, back and forth, and there's a little bit of pinball action going on there as Vic makes contact in front, holds up, gets a bit of a bump from behind as well. Did Vic pick up any damage? No, they were all gentle taps. And Zen is on the hunt here. He has gained 1 second in a couple of sectors thanks to the fighting that's going on in front of Junior here in P4. Zen often is a threat come the end of our races. Just reassure me that the live chat is working and the stream is all a-okay for me, folks. If you would, Vic is flashing the lights once again. My apologies to the rest of the grid, but this is not just 2 cars battling over the lead. This is 5, about to be 5 cars. That is a very close Renault behind Vic. They're almost towing one another through the corners, out of the final corner once again. Then for Asian Vic, Junkai, thanks Jim, Junior, Zen, all within a shot here of a potential victory. We will see another pit stop. I feel almost certain to see here. 21 minutes remain. Vic all the way around the outside of Asian Persuasion, who left a good amount of space, but frankly possibly a little bit too much space as Junkai makes his way through as well. Brilliant racing, as this was Vic round the outside as watched by Junkai, and then you can see Asian just not able to get to the racing line. Junkai was right there and able to capitalize back down the inside again. Great racing, respectful racing room left by everybody. Asian Persuasion has a rear gunner now of Junior directly behind him. Whether they're in a live chat or not, it remains to be seen. But Asian Persuasion losing out. Junkai snatching a little bit of catching, I should say, traction oversteer on the corner. He allows P3 to be his again as Asian Persuasion goes through. And meanwhile, Vic is on a mission to gap the field now while they're all fighting. He's finally had his chance to get through, and it's time to go racing for Vic as he starts to stretch away here, running through again. Thanks for that, Jeep. It is P2 Asian, P3 Junkai, P4 Junior, and now Zen right on their tail. Junior into the left-hander. The Lexus actually seeming to balance its way through the corners nicely. I think that the medium tyres are starting to die, though, not surprisingly. First, I would estimate here on the Lexus and the Mercedes. Just to go back through the field, TX is in 6th. Copa in 7th, has been bested by both Zen and TX on this stint. Chaotica in the Porsche, which should be rear tyre limited, but did seem to be using that front left a lot. It does appear to be the Lexus that is hurting most of all, and probably be the first car to pit then, as Glovas is in 9th in the Mercedes. Izzy is in 10th with Bongit in the Canucks popular livery there for Bongit for Team Cross Border Competition, and off the track goes Izzy. I thought that might have been a disconnection, but a massive impact for Izzy. That is damage to the car for a moment anyway. What happened to Izzy? I thought that looked like a car had disconnected, but actually, is it the tiniest bit too much? Well, he got a little bit of oversteer, and then bang, just straight into the barrier, unfortunately for Izzy. And he will drop down to 12th for now. He may be able to pit, get a bit of an undercut going, as Fassiar, strangely enough, I think may have... No, he hasn't pitted again. Fassiar's down in 14th place. We have the Lamborghini Seco Distinguished Gentleman team bookending our grid at the moment. P1 and last position. And here is Asian Persuasion, who has Junkai not far behind him. Zen following, but this is the big battle right now. It looks like Junior has relinquished his position to Zen. He's been passed, unfortunately, for fans of 10-year-old racer Junior. Here are Dutch pairing of Roy Mustang and Son, the Ajax Football Club fans as well. racing from the Netherlands, but unfortunately Junior has dropped down from 4th position at the moment. Kuroskai is saying his car doesn't like the S-turns. Well, I wouldn't say, obviously I'd never say that an American car isn't built to take turns, obviously, but that Ford GT does seem to be having a lot of difficulty in fast weight transfer style switchbacks. I have to say, Zen is in 4th. There is Junior, and there is TX. Again, this is a very slow turn and he's struggling to get through. So the Ford GT at this moment in time, not liking the slow corners or the fast ones. I think it's okay in the mediums, but that's just an idea anyway. Kuros Kai saying, Fasia had another accident. Thanks, Kuros. Appreciate the info. There is Asian Persuasion. Dog Eater to friends and Noah to relatives, possibly. How's Preston? Last I checked, Preston was in the penultimate position. He's now back in plumb last, unfortunately. 14th place. Facio has repassed Preston. I think Preston not enjoying this track car combination today, unfortunately, Runks. There is Vic, who is enjoying himself. He now, for the first time, has 3 seconds of clear air behind him. Asian Persuasion looking good. Junkai and Zen have gone into the pits to shed those medium tyres, get a new load of fuel in for the final part of our race. Ford GT not using a huge amount of fuel, you have to say, at this stage, but enough for it to be a definitive 2-stop race. Komakopa's running the Ferrari. He's in P4 as the sun is starting to set now on Kyoto driving park. We might be getting into the full dark conditions. Chaotica has Glovas not far behind him. Glovas is on the second, I think, set of hard tyres in the Mercedes. He'll be looking to try and get this car to a point where he can run, I would imagine, the medium tyres to a finish. He still has half a tank of fuel on. Tough, but he's still going, says Runks. That's a great sign. Absolutely. We don't give up in Deviant Racing League unless something very awful happens. Usually it's a technical issue that makes drivers have to stop. But a drop score, a worst race out of the 7 is more than acceptable for everybody, because of course they can just go ahead and drop that score. Everyone has to drop their worst. So a podium, if you podium everything, or a last place, makes no difference. You still lose that worst score of the championship. It's Junkai in 10th. It's Zen down in 11th with those pit stops having been made. They've gone for a set of medium tyres, second set of medium tyres on the Renault to run the final 15 minutes at full speed here. So they should be hot to trot at this stage of the race. Faciar could be still in with a good shot, but he's got another pit stop left to make. Might try and run through to using the soft tyres. Got a little bit of life left on the mediums and plenty of fuel on board as well. This is where the fuel loads are going to, the fuel usage is going to really take effect. As Junior has a problem right now, he's come out behind the slightly slower Preston, and Junior is going to lose a lot of time out there, probably something like 7 seconds to the drivers he was fighting with. Preston holding on. Vic's gone into the pit lane, and Junior is getting a little bit impatient, and rightly so. Preston can hold him up. There's no blue flags in operation. Asian Persuasion in P2. Komakopa goes by once again. Wouldn't be surprised if Komakopa is trying to make the soft tyres a viable option today. The Ferrari, good on fuel, good on handling, good on tyre wear, but just a little bit poor when it comes to top speed. But just about everything else is great in the Ferrari. Chaotica moving up to second place, but that front left is looking pretty problematic for him now. Kuroskai saying he power leveled his alchemy before the race, and now everything is just great. Captain Badonkadonk on the outside, had to protect the inside lane there from Glovas. Hi to Yisen Soto. Good to have you join us, and everybody else who's live with us today. If you are watching on demand later on, maybe you took part in the race or you didn't get a chance to watch the race live, we still appreciate you. Please use the buttons at the bottom of the screen. We are able to take tips if you are financially in a position to do so. Hit that thanks button under the screen, and use the new hype button as well if you can on all new Webbo commentary videos. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm and getting discovered. Izzy on the outside lane, Vic on the inside on the newer tyres, and that is candy from a baby. Izzy not fighting it too hard though, as you would imagine. He's just protecting that hard tyre, that hard front left at this stage into the 49R right-hander. Very, very tight. Tight turn there, as is this following left, which is usually the right-hand turn on the way into a very tight, difficult chicane at the bottom of a hill. Really tough braking, but obviously we're in reverse configuration today. It's Jason with a Y, so it's Jason. Thank you. That makes sense. Brilliant. All right, thank you, Jason. Izzy in 7th, just ahead of Junkai, who is trying to fight with Vic here for the outright lead of the race. Gap is now 1.3 seconds. So thanks, Big Runks. Oh, there's an accident. We've got the car off on the grid. That is Chaotica, sadly. I think he took that front left too far in the race. And it's a big slide in the S's. And there is some damage. And then we completely across the racetrack. What do you do? Frankly, I would say just sit still and hope that nobody collides into you. That was good rejoin in the end from Chaotica, but one lap too many on the hard tyres. Straight into the pit lane, of course, he goes. Vic is resuming in the lead of the race, and there he is in P1. His gap 1.8 seconds, needs to stretch ahead of Junkai now. Medium tyres for both cars. They've both gone to hards and then mediums, as has hards, mediums, as has Zen at the moment, as the sun is almost completely set. You can see the headlights on the front discs are glowing on our Lexus from Asian Persuasion in P4. Komakopa running in 5th position and looking good on brand new medium tyres, but has dropped 14.9 seconds to the outright lead over the course of the race so far. TX in 6th, Junior in 7th, with Globas in 8th place. Let's just check out those tyre decisions. Now, Komakopa still, I think, on the medium tyres, but they will be slightly fresher for the end. And Brum joins us prior to his race in the GTD series, in the GT4 cars. There is Globas. Bonget in 9th, in the car that will just eat you up as it approaches. It's going to be very threatening in the mirrors. Bonget in P9. Captain Badonkadonk in P10. And if Brum, if we could have your Discord username as your gamer tag, and you can battle with Badonkadonk, we would have Badonkadonk and Flobadob as teammates. That would be quite something. Izzy in VR, P11. Fassiar in 12th. Chaotica running 13th after the contact with the barrier. And Preston at the back in the Mercedes that has been such a handful on the front tyre wear so far today. So snooping on strategy. So hard, medium seems to have been the way to go so far today. Brum, as Junkai is in that 2nd position, and he's closing in now. He has not given up on the win here, and right, he shouldn't. It is a fastest of all, 2-minute 19.618 on the previous lap. He's beaten that by a further 0.2 of a second on this 21st lap, even though the sun is setting and the temperatures are dropping. The car in the best place it has been so far. 1.6 seconds is the gap between the top two. 4.2 seconds between 2nd and 3rd place. Zen some 4 seconds almost ahead of Asian Persuasion, and then the gaps pretty much are opening out. Then we've got a great 4-way battle going on here for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, possibly even 10th by the end of the race, as Junior trying to feel his way around this circuit. Look at the medium tyre wear on the Lexus compared with the other cars who had got to pit slightly later. He is really struggling. I think hard tyres might have been the way to go. To do another 8 minutes on that front left is going to be really, really difficult. This is not ACC where the tyres run and run. This is GT7, and with aggressive tyre wear multipliers as well. So a slightly more difficult thing to handle, I think. There are very few aspects of GT7 that are more difficult than ACC, but this perhaps is one of them today for Junior. and heading into the right-hander then, and unfortunately Glovas just able to get the car down, despite the fact that he's driving that Mercedes AMG. The tyre wear on the Lexus just appalling. Bongit in P9, Captain Badonkadonk in 10th place. Great sequence with these drivers racing hard as the lights have completely gone out on our race, and there's very few lights in the depths of the circuit. As across the start-finish line is fairly well lit, but that's about it. Chaotica Facia fighting over 12th and 13th position. Here is Vic though, his lead 1.5 seconds as he tries to take it fairly steadily, I think, through the S's, knowing how easy it is to make a mistake through there. Vic in P1, Junkai just 1.3 seconds away. Zen in third, and Asian Persuasion ahead of Copa. Junkai pushing incredibly hard. That's where the outside tyre goes round GT7, where the grip just falls off and the tyre seemingly ceases to exist. Yeah, it's almost like we're running Pirellis, is it not? But I think we're switching to Dunlop tyres soon enough. We've been on Michelin's for years, and we are switching to Dunlops. Whether that will actually mean a physics change for the tyre compounds or not, I have yet to see any kind of confirmation, but we shall see in the end. Vic P1, P2 Junkai, and P3 Zen with Asian Persuasion Dog Eater. Zen is running the fastest sectors so far, seems to be the fastest man on track with everybody behind him, but that is 5.8 seconds to catch in 6 minutes dead on for the remainder of the race. Long laps here at Kyoto Driving Park, some 2.33 minutes overall. Look how dark it is for Vic. Obviously with the headlights it is made a lot easier to see, but your eyes want to be at the apex, and unfortunately your headlights typically point straight forward. There's no adaptive headlights, which I would absolutely love as an upgrade because so often you're still peering into the apex and you can't quite see what you want to see. Purple sector from Vic. I wonder if Zen can best that purple sector on this run. Let's see. No, he's lost time, has Zen on this sector prior, so he's in P3, 8 seconds away from the lead of the race. It is separated by just 2 seconds, but Junkai has lost time versus Vic, who is raising the pace level, or at least keeping increasing the gap between himself and Junkai. Whether that's through consistency or accelerated pace is very difficult to tell until they cross the line. Junkai running a 2:19.6, 4 and 2. Vic running a 2:19.6 and 3, but a 2:21 the little lap prior to that, as he brought the tyres in gently. Maybe that will be the key to his eventual success here today. Let's see what this last lap has been like for Vic. He crosses the line. That will be a 19.3 to Junkai's 20.2. Junkai losing 0.9 of a second there to Vic on a single lap. So Vic definitely maintaining the pace, and Junkai's pace starting to drop off. Look at that front left tyre on the Renault RS in comparison to Vic's Lamborghini. Despite the obvious rake of the Lamborghini Huracan and the pitch forward shorter wheelbase, it is still protecting that front left tyre very, very well indeed. Third place then, fourth place Asian Persuasion with the yellow Lexus headlights, Copa with the white headlights in the Starbucks Ferrari, TX, Glovas, Bongit, and behind them Captain Badonkadonk, who is not having quite the success he had in the previous round. Glovas looking like the fastest driver through the first 2 sectors anyway. As we run through here, I have ripped a set of Pirellis in half. They weren't rated for what they were on, says Big Runks. It's not a surprise. They do build tyres to degrade, do Pirelli. Oh, it's looking good then for Bongit in the Porsche behind. The strengths and weaknesses of the cars obviously showing up there, as Glover's having to protect his front left like most everybody else, but it is a harder job on the Mercedes. He's now protecting the inside as he heads on into turn 12. It's lap 23. We have just under 3 minutes to go, so this is the penultimate lap as far as I can predict anyway. And Bongit comes through then, chasing down. It's a great four-way battle, visually stunning track and race car combination here in the dark. We haven't had any weather to speak of, any wet weather anyway here, but all the same, it has been fairly consistent with the wind direction as well. TX holding on to 6th right now, and just a good enough gap. Glovas holding firm on the inside line through those long right-handers that are torturing his front left tyre. And then it's going to be tricky as Bongit in the Porsche looks to slide that rear end through the S's. In comparison to the other cars, he's got the inside lane. He's not quite able to push into a manoeuvre, but he's building an attack. Vic still holds on against Junkai. We'll just quickly check in on that gap. Actually, Vic is extending hugely. Junkai is limping home at this point on the tyre, I think. Back to this four-way battle. In fact, Captain Badonkadonk going for it down the inside in the Ferrari, and a tiny bit of contact mid-corner, but there's space to play. Bongit drops down to P9 in the end. Let's have another look at that, get the rights and wrongs of it, shall we? As let's have a look. This is Captain Badonkadonk on board with the Ferrari. As he turns left, he's going to get some understeer. He stabs the throttle. I have to say that was probably on Badonkadonk in the end. That contact, that was avoidable, possibly. 1 minute to go, so almost certain that this is the final lap. This is Junkai. He's 4.8 seconds away from Vic. Vic's Pizza are the unofficial and apparently uncompensated sponsors of TV Racing Leagues today. Oh, great. Brum's just joined our membership here on the channel, and you can do exactly that. But big thanks to Brum for joining the channel. That's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate everybody. I'll have to update my graphics now, because when I'm racing, I put a thank you message on all of my races for my members. It's Vic, Junkai, and Zen. Great payday for the Team Renault in the Team OG traditional Michelin and Renault racing colours. As Vic comes through, the clock is going to die. The checkered flag waver will be ready. The stars are out to watch Vic, hopefully, for his sake, take a great run. Big Runk saying, talking about tyres. We'll get back to tyres as soon as possible. Through the final corner comes Vic. This will be one to remember for the distinguished team, for Team Psycho and for Vic, who takes home the win in the pink lights at Kyoto Driving Park. He completes a great victory in the end. Junkai fought hard all race long and came home second for the Team OG. And Zen's run out of fuel. Asian Persuasion takes home third position on the line. Zen runs out of fuel, and an uncharacteristic error to the end of the race. Komakopa happy with the team and the drive-through racing engineers today in P5. TX in 6th. That's a great podium for Asian Persuasion for his team. Captain Badonkadonk in 8th. Glovas has finished 7th. Bongit 9th. Izzy will cross the line in 10th place. And we will see Junior home, unfortunately. Oh, with a penalty at the line as well. Junior home in 12th. And having to really limp home on soft tyres at another pit stop, unfortunately for him. Chaotica in 13th. Preston has had a hard day, but he's fought on in the number 5 and will come home in that final paying position. But today we congratulate Vic for his win at Kyoto. A very, very strong performance from the Italian stallion, and he's done a great job there for his Psycho and Seiko, I should say, and Lamborghini team. So Vic takes home the win. Let's give you the full results, and I will leave the stream on for the next round. So that is victory for Vic, as ever. Very appropriate. Vic ahead of Junkai and Asian Persuasion. Junkai in the end with the fastest lap. Perhaps, though, it was too much on those tyres at the start of their stint, and he didn't really have a lot to fight with at the end. Asian Persuasion, Dog Eater in P3. Zen in 4th, Komakopa in 5th, although Zen obviously running out of fuel at the line, with Komakopa in 5th, who kind of knows how that feels. TX in 6th, Glovas in 7th, and Captain Pudonkadonk in P8. 9th was Bongit, Izzy's 10th, Fassier 11th, Junior in 12th, Chaotica and Preston. Your finishes, thanks to Saito for doing the job there with the safety car and doing it without penalties as well. Even though when I joined the lobby, he was messing around and off track, crashing the car. But we won't talk about that. I'm sure we won't mention that. Okay, so that was our race for the GTD Pro. I think only 5 minutes, and we'll be back on with the race for the GTDs. So I would just put the Vic's Pizza ad on for the break in between. Thanks to Zav, who enjoyed that one from Greece. One of my favourite places on earth is Greece. So ask me all about it, because I love me some Greece. It is great to have everybody with us, an international audience. We will catch you very soon. But thanks for the GTD Pro and Deviant Racing League. But stay tuned for the next race.
Welcome to Vic's Pizza, the official, but still unpaid, sponsor of Deviant Racing. We bring you the true flavors of the Italian South. Sunshine, sea breeze, and dough so good, it'll shave a full second off your lap time. Scientific studies pending, but trust us. Forget the nonsense. No chicken-topped abominations, no honey disasters, and absolutely zero skyline weirdness. Just real pizza. Fresh, healthy, and unlike your racing tires, our crust actually lasts. Next time you're chasing speed, chasing flavor, or chasing Deviant Racing's accounting department to finally pay their sponsorship invoice, chase it with Vic's Pizza. Vic's Pizza. Eat slow, go fast.
I love it.
Welcome to Vic's Pizza, the official, but still unpaid, sponsor of Deviant Racing. We bring you the true flavors of the Italian South. Sunshine, sea breeze, and dough so good, it'll shave a full second off your lap time. Scientific studies pending, but trust us. Forget the nonsense. No chicken-topped abominations, no honey disasters, and absolutely zero skyline weirdness. Just real pizza. Fresh, healthy, and unlike your racing tires, our crust actually lasts. Next time you're chasing speed, chasing flavor, or chasing Deviant Racing's accounting department to finally pay their sponsorship invoice, chase it with Vic's Pizza. Vic's Pizza. Eat slow, go fast.
I love it.
Welcome to Vic's Pizza, the official, but still unpaid, sponsor of Deviant Racing. We bring you the true flavors of the Italian South. Sunshine, sea breeze, and dough so good, it'll shave a full second off your lap time. Scientific studies pending, but trust us. Forget the nonsense. No chicken-topped abominations, no honey disasters, and absolutely zero skyline weirdness. Just real pizza. Fresh, healthy, and unlike your racing tires, our crust actually lasts. Next time you're chasing speed, chasing flavor, or chasing Deviant Racing's accounting department to finally pay their sponsorship invoice, chase it with Vic's Pizza. Vic's Pizza. Eat slow, go fast.
I love it.
Welcome back, race fans, to Deviant Racing. My name is Webbo. If you're just tuning in, we are going straight from the restarted stream for GTD Pro into the GTD race as titled correctly, so hopefully right now. But we have, this is the standings for the GT4 cars of the GTD series. It is Dirksey on top with a win and an 11-point round at Red Bull Ring, but the drivers do drop a score, which is why those total scores are slightly out of whack. Binkit, our other winner so far, is in second place with K Morris in third place. They are above the promotion line, but it is early days in the championship, just heading into race 3 of 7. Thrashers in 4th with Jim in 5th. JDA there, Jim. Camzilla in 6th and Mercury 7th. Aussie is 8th. Siam 9th. Kuros Kai, Brum and Larry, with Saito and Slug making out our 14 driver entry so far. Team competition prior to the GTD race, GTD Pro race that just took place, which I won't spoil, are showing as team cross-border competition on top, ahead of the distinguished cars, which are the somewhat mismatched Lamborghini and Volkswagen Scirocco cars, the Rookie Rebels, and drive-through racing are 3rd and 4th. Michelin Speedstars just ahead in 5th of the joint 6th position Team OG, and Team Mountain Dew. I'm just looking at our cars warming up, getting ready for qualifying. Right now we have another pink entry on the screen, and that is K Morris in the distinguished VW Scirocco, but they are not sponsored by the Seiko watches, but instead by Bulgari, I think it is. Is that what I saw? And Yves Saint Laurent. I'm sure I saw Bulgari at the back, but Yves Saint Laurent certainly on the rear window. But going pink for the cherry blossom colour scheme here for our Japanese round of the championship so far. Hi to everybody who is watching live. Do make yourselves known and reassure me that you're in and who you're here to support. Team Mountain Dew Whiteout are the sponsors of the Mazda GT4 car of the Mountain Dew team, and it's Kuros Kai there running at the moment. As you can, if you listen carefully enough, you can actually hear the crickets or cicadas in the forest and tropical climate of this this almost rainforest style Yamagawa Kyoto driving park. Must be an amazing place to watch as Brum then runs round. It looks like it is full-on Gotham liveries for Brum and a very crazy helmet as well. I'm quite sure what Brum is repping, but he's gone from Mr. Bean style Batman rear on the car as well. Mr. Bean given his given nickname because of his tendency to mention the British delicacy, or at least food staple, which is baked beans. All I can hear is my fuel light says Zen, and Izzy's tuning straight in to watch Larry and Siam. Driver's still not quite into qualifying just yet. That's cross-border competition in the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nobody over this side of the Atlantic can figure out why it's Leafs and not Leaves. You'll have to let me know about that one. I've never been able to quite nail that one down. The slightly out of scale Chevrolet is sponsored by Perrier today. I don't know how many Perrier drinkers drive Chevrolets, but I digress. It is Slug out there currently running. Just getting the car warmed up. Much longer wheelbase. If you compare this to the Honda, to the Mazda and the VW, the cars do look somewhat different. The Honda NSX short wheelbase GT3 of Siam. Looks like the livery may not have changed this round, but a sort of off-white bronzish colour scheme. It is sunset in Kyoto, which reminds me I should probably make a small change, but hopefully we're going to be ready to race. And that is just addressing a rogue agent who has joined the lobby. I'm assuming he's a friend of someone who's already there, who's already here, but I'm just going to turn the exposure up a little bit because we are expecting it to go into dark conditions, and that can be slightly problematic to see all the details that we want to see. Looks like qualifying is about to go. Let's get you everything that you need to see and enjoy the qualifying session as we wait to see who is going to head out first. Brummer's put medium tyres on for this run, perhaps hoping to just have a better average speed through the qualifying, or maybe having just made a mistake. Let's see as he crosses the pit exit line. It is medium tyres. Actually, he's not the only one. Looks like Larry's gone onto the medium tyres too. Siam is the first driver out on the track, so he will have the clear view here. Today we are going to be talking about the turn numbers in reverse order. That's what my track map says, and I can't be bothered to try and reorder them. I'll mention when it's the last and first corners, but this is the official turn 16, and the turn numbers will go down. We have 19 in total official corners. Big Runks cheering on Larry and Siam. Big Runks, you are the leader of the chat leaderboard for this video, so congratulations for that one. I know you're a relatively recent subscriber or viewer of particularly the GT7 Deviant races here, but it's good to have you nonetheless, and to get straight into P1 in the chat leaderboard is some good going. So this is Siam in the Honda NSX in the Michelin Speedstars livery here. Very different to their GT3 or GTD Pro colleagues, but they have that awful Vegemite logo on the back windshield. Rear view window. Here is Siam heading into the 46R turn. If you didn't know, then Japanese corners are generally named by their actual radius in meters, which is hence why you get the famous 130R at Suzuka. But in Kyoto and in Fuji, you also have corners named a series of 3 numbers followed by R, or 2 numbers followed by R, and that is the radius of the corner. So thanks, Runks, appreciate it. Although I wasn't doing a lot of racing yesterday, it was limping around trying to survive and failing miserably yesterday, so it's good to share the track with you. I think that might be a fairer thing to say, so thanks a lot, Runks. I definitely do feel a lot more skilled at my regular job, which is this. So this is my my more comfortable and happier place to be. But it's great to race here and there and get an idea. I'll be here with Deviant next week as well on the MX5 Championship, but just casual racing really, not really taking it particularly seriously this time around. Here is Siam into the first turn, turn 19, as we'll call it today, and the Honda then should be good at change of direction, which this track will be a very important factor. Through a difficult chicane of turns 18 and 17. I do think this track is easier in this reverse configuration though. A couple of the most difficult corners are neutralised as a result of going slowly out of them rather than incredibly quickly into them, and we'll talk about that in a moment's time. Through the open S section of turn 15, and the 14 is an approach now into a new hairpin when the configuration is set this way, with a temporary yellow and blue concrete barrier in between, or Tech Pro barrier separating the two. That is right on the edge. That is further and closer to the edge of track limits with Siam than we have seen from any of the GTD Pro drivers, as far as I remember anyway. Into turn 12 then, which is a sector on its own as we run through with Siam. Looks to get the power down nice and early into the left chicane. You'll see Siam in the MX5 Championship next weekend as well. He and I were trundling around at the back at Laguna Seca and not enjoying our time last time out. This is through the hairpin then of turn 9 into 8. Very similar profile, not quite hitting the apex with the accuracy we would have wanted on the way through turn 8, but looking to try and get on the power to get up this hill. The GT4s might feel like they struggle, but as I mentioned, Siam driving an MX5 on alternate weekends, I'm sure it'll feel lightning fast in comparison. Through the right-hander then in the canopy of the forest trees, and then into the Yahoo S section of the raceway as we try to get the straightest line possible through here. Try pick up the inside tyres through the red and white parts of these curbs, but not beyond, because it is they are tall and quite steep, and so there's a certain point where they help you around the corner and a certain point where they spit you out into the scenery of the next corner, as we saw in the GTD Pro. There's no spoilers there, but Siam comes round out of the final corner, as close to the pit wall as he dare, and he gets through into the fastest time naturally, of course, as the first driver out on track. This looks like Slug about to set a line. Dirksey goes faster than Siam. Dirksey, a reserve driver this season. Slug in third. Kuros Kai is beaten by Brum into second place, actually, as Kuros Kai crosses the line. He's 9 seconds slower, so he's taken that build-up lap to generate heat in the tyres. There is a troublesome penalty for Camzilla, who gets up into fourth place. Camzilla, well known. Siam into the barrier there and back to the pit lane for him. Here comes Jim. He goes third, just behind Brum by half a second. Brum's gap. K. Morris just slots into that gap by 16 thousandths slower than Brum. Brum is 1.5 seconds slower than Dirksey. So Dirksey is bossing this one, despite not being a full-time driver, as far as my information is concerned anyway. Kuros Kai has only managed to get so far into qualifying, as K. Morris heads on out of the pit lane. Thrasher exits back, and our Saito has just driven our safety car in the GTD Pro race, so given up quite a bit of practice time to drive the safety car. I wonder if we draw lots as to which of our GTD drivers have to do this. That might seem fair, but you want a safe pair of hands, or at least an entertaining pair of hands in the safety car nonetheless. We will get safety car information later on, but Dirksey 1.5 seconds faster than anybody so far. I think we are still to see some lap times. Let's see what's Kuros Kai doing, and Slug's time was 6.7 seconds slower than Dirksey on the first flying lap. But he's completely destroyed that front left tyre. Let's have a look over this this timing beam. I don't think that was by design, that particular situation then for him. We'll have a look at Saito. Maybe Saito is able to get some speed here. He's on a new set of medium tyres. Remember, Brum came out of the pits on medium tyres to qualify. He didn't like how fast these soft tyres degrade. Of course, you've got to do an outlap. There's no way around it on those tyres. Dirksey is on a new set of what is he on? Medium on soft tyres here. The Minnesota Wild. Well, that is something I've never heard of. So I know Minnesota's far north in the USA. Does that mean that they are also a hockey team? Potentially. But this livery could do with some Castrol sponsorship, in my view. Anyway, Chaotica not really taking part at this stage. Here is Camzilla. He's on soft tyres. About to cross the line there in the VW Scirocco for the distinguished team. Almost got a Honda Type R sticker on the side of the car, and he goes personal best 2P6. Wild Ara hockey team, thanks then, appreciate it. Mercury's pushing too hard on the exit of the final corner as he comes through in the Chevy. Mercury is 3.2 seconds slower than his best, and I think time is out for the drivers here. Brum on the mediums with the WD-40 personal sponsorship there, as well as I think he's got Heinz Beans and Mr. Bean on the car, but the Gotham Special, the Team Rookie Rebels are rocking this season, this particular round are going for Gotham. Quite sure why when it's in Japan, but all the same. Black and gold and yellow, or very, very, very dark grey for Brum, as he leaves it under no confusion. The driver in the driver in front's mirrors as to his identity. He's half a second down at the moment on his own fastest lap, but he has picked up a better lap by about half that distance that he did have out to Dirksey. Dirksey's still the fastest car, but right now I think he's, I was going to say letting cars by, but I think no, he's gone through. This is the Audi TT GT4 car, and he's going faster still by half a second. Is Dirksey looking very good out there? I'm quite sure what is written on his arm here. Does that say genuine? Is that a Miller sponsorship of his race suit? He's now faster still by nearly 9/10 of a second. This is very, very threatening for our race here. If Dirksey is this much quicker than everybody, he's got a new set of softs on. We are in the dying seconds of qualifying. Hopefully, for his sake, he will get around and be allowed the extra overage to complete this lap, because he's holding on to that 9/10 of a second advantage just as Brum was closing in. Dirksey is going to stretch away here. One car just in front, into the final corner we go. And looking for very long laps here. Almost, it's going to be over 2.5 minutes per lap. It's no Nürburgring, but he won't thank the Scirocco for sort of weaving across the track there in front of him. But Dirksey does go faster still, reasserts his 1.5 second near advantage as Kay Morris is pushing. Brum has given up on this lap. It's not going to be good enough. What can Kay Morris do? He's 2.1 seconds away from Dirksey's pole. Dirksey is absolutely on fire. Some would say a little bit OP for the second tier here, as Kay Morris almost scrapes the pit wall, but he can't improve. He's slightly slower. There's Larry in the pits in P4. Jim is on track but not pushing. Camzilla's the same. I think it is all going to go the way of Dirksey out there in the Audi TT Cup car for the GT4 cross-border competition. The Minnesota Wild, sponsored by Fanatec, and I think that says the Minnesota Foundation, but we'll get up close and personal with all of our liveries towards the end of towards the safety car period. Keep your eyes peeled for safety car announcements in the break, as we are on those F1 style safety car rulings. The safety car will peel across to the off-track section. The T-tray on the front of the Audi TT. There it is, Chaotica, just announcing it's lap 12 for the safety car. One lap later than we saw in the GTD Pro, so that was put us firmly into the halfway point of the race, and more importantly, probably beyond what the hard tyres can stretch to. So I think the drivers will be stopping before and after the safety car rather than during the safety car, or I mean, they're allowed to stop the lap prior or the second lap of the safety car, but not the safety car lap itself. So lap 12, thanks to Chaotica for giving us that. But here is the overall results for qualifying. 2:31.9 for Dirksey, just over that 2.5 minute mark. Brum 1.4 seconds slower in the end. It's actually quite a close grid, P2 to P7, but Dirksey is just found something else on this in this Audi TT at the Kyoto driving park. Kay Morris in P3, Larry in 4th, Jim in 5th, Camzilla in 6th, Mercury and Siam completing the top 8. In the second half of the field, Slug is in 9th, Saito in 10th, Kuros Kai in 11th, and Thrasher, strangely enough, down in 12th position out there, some 16.9 seconds back. Appears to be in a Lamborghini Huracan. And I'm not sure that that is one of our viable options for the GT4 category, but regardless, it's not really helped him to anything. The Huracan Group 4 is legitimately being driven by Thrasher, it would appear. So that is where things are. Let's have your podium predictions then in between the two sessions of this GTD race. I'd love to know who you think is going to get there. How far do you think the drivers will get on a set of hard tyres? I imagine most drivers will start on the hards. The required tyres are hards and mediums. They must make a compound change. Obviously, beyond that, they can use the softs if they wish to. I'm not seeing any weather in the 100-mile circumference there of Kyoto, as we wait to see when the race will begin. Just a short break for everybody to make their final settings changes. As Larry says, roll it. He's keen to get underway, as ever. Larry will start in P4 for the Michelin Speedstars team in the beige colour scheme in the Honda NSX GT4. So we'll get underway for your race. Love to hear from all of you during the race if you're watching with us live. If not, then leave a comment with a timestamp. Your favourite moment of the race always helps us when we come to make highlights. It is Dirksey next to Brum, with K. Morris and Larry just behind. We've got 5 red lights for round 3 of the championship, and it's dropped the clutch, and it's go, go, go. Brum with absolutely storming start straight into the lead in the Renault, in the McGee Trophy, and straight up into P1 for Brum in the Batman livery. K. Morris in P3 with Mercury in 4th. The 2 Honda NSX cars just bogging down slightly at the start. Siam and Larry getting close together, and they make a tiny bit of contact there with Slug in P5. But Brum leads this race on the start of the round 3 of the championship. Slug in P5, Siam in 6th, Cam Ziller in 7th, and Larry in 8th place. Great start from our contenders here, as the Mazdas are down in 9th and 11th. Thrasher at the back in the Wendy's Lamborghini Huracan, but Brum leading Dirksey, leading K. Morris and Mercury. The positions at the front. K. Morris definitely on the hunt here. You saw him on the Drink with the Driver podcast last time out, and racing out of let me get this straight. Anyway, K. Morris in P3, Dirksey in P2, and just behind them you've got K. Morris and Mercury. It is Brum leading them away in the McGee. He actually started on the hard tyres and still got that fantastic launch. K. Morris really crowding out Dirksey in his mirrors. Dirksey struggling on the hards, seemed to really have a pace advantage on the soft tyres, but come the hard tyres, start of the race, this is absolutely bringing this one much more interesting than we'd feared, with the distance difference in the qualifying positions. That K. Morris is right on the outside edge there, still trying to get these tyres working, but they should get up to temperature much faster. He's on the soft tyres with the hard runners in front of him. Brum having to defend on the run into turn 6 right now in the Renault, as Dirksey, I think, has got his tyres up to temperature, but he's left the door open on the inside too. K. Morris, who should get the drive and the boost out of the corner there, and does so. K. Morris up, well, I would say into 2nd place, but it looked like he might have missed a gear change, because Dirksey came back at him on the way run out of the corner. K. Morris tucking in on the Scirocco, unless the Audi TT has a significant top speed advantage against the VW. K. Morris then front wheel drive, probably not quite got the balance on the way through the S's, but and will suffer from additional tyre wear, I would imagine. Brum, Dirksey, K. Morris, your top 3, and we'll just have a quick replay of the start if we can. And this is how they looked going on into the first few sectors of the race. Looks very close between the drivers here in the midfield, but nothing particularly dramatic from everybody down at the back. At the moment, we've got Larry in 6th, we've got Siam in 7th, Jim in 8th, Arsato in 9th, Kuros Kai in 10th, and Thrasher down in 11th. Slug has been bested and he's down in 12th. I think may have been off the circuit in the Chevy. Chaotica will wait for that 12th lap for the safety car. Long wait for Chaotica. Obviously, there's an incentive for our safety car drivers to have an earlier safety car if they can, but it needs to be roughly in the middle of the race, obviously, to allow for the field to close up. K. Morris at times looking really quick. I think under heavy braking and the slower corners, that front wheel drive, I think, helping a lot. Dirksey, though, in the Audi TT, which will be an all-wheel drive entry. It's great to see these different cars running. The air scoop on the roof of the Renault Megane Trophy there of Brum in the Batmobile today, as he runs down into the 11 and 10, turn 11 and 10 in, and then the short run into the 46-meter radius, turn 9, tight hairpin tighter still to the left-hand side. K Morris might jump for a move down the inside, but no way through. Brum taking a narrower line into the corners, getting onto the power early enough. But here we go. I think we might end up with almost 3 wide into the next corner. Dirksey has been on the outside of Brum on their way into this turn 6. Brum getting down nicely into the apex, but I think Dirksey's going to get by here. Dirksey on the outside retakes the lead of the race, which he only had at the grid boxes. Dirksey back into the lead ahead of Brum, who might be a favourite of the Larry family. Alexandra Pappas tuning in, hopefully with Gus and or Charlie, but we'll have a livery review at lap 12 if you can call them in for that point. Dirksey in P1, K Morris in P2, Brum about to take that P2 back. In fact, he does so as K Morris I think might be headed towards the pit lane, having used the soft tyres to the point at which they scream for mercy. This is that Batmobile run with Mr. Bean on the back as K Morris washing out, but headed toward pit road. So I think perhaps not fighting back too hard, but Brum relinquishing the lead that he stole right from the very start with a great getaway from the line. Mercury catching now though in the Chevy in the number 46. There is in the black and white with green flecks. Obviously the green is the GTD Pro series. Camzilla, I don't think has had as much time to commit to racing lately, but showing in P4 and looking good. That is Mercury though, out there in P3. Alexandra saying today is our wedding anniversary. Congratulations, happy wedding anniversary to you guys. And you're going to need a win today. Well, at the moment, he's going to have to do it from back in, I think, P8 or even further back. It looks like Larry has been off the circuit and has gone back down to last position. I'm sorry to say, Alexandra. He's changed onto the hard tyres, it looks like. So whatever he started on has been altered there. I think I'd like the wheel rims to match the car. If you're tweaking the livery at any point, I think the white stands out with an off-white body color combination. But anyway, my livery opinions are rarely listened to, and they probably shouldn't be anyway. There is Brum in the Batmobile today, P2. Mercury in 3rd place with Camzilla chasing him down. Alexandra's saying, I guess it's grounds for divorce being at the back of the grid. Pull it together, Big Runk says. So is it win or leave your wedding ring on the mantelpiece situation today, Alexandra? Is that because you disapprove of time being taken out of anniversary day celebrations in order to sim race, I wonder? Anyway, it's Mercury in P3, Camzilla in that 4th place at the moment. Okay, sorry, had a slightly alarming noise happening in the comms booth. It's all okay now. Oh, Mercury off the circuit. Can he hang on? He has hung on. He won't hang on to 4th, but to 3rd, I should say. But good wrench plus service. The GMAC sponsored Chevy just hanging on, but struggling through the S's. It is a turn that will trip everybody up. The distinguished team distinguished. Brought to you this week by Vic's Pizza and the unlikely duo of Yves Saint Laurent and Bulgari, paired with Type R stickers and Vic's Pizza. Mercury in 4th, Siam then in 5th for his Michelin Speed Stars team, who will be celebrating or commiserating with Jose Cuervo Tequila, I think, today. The Toronto Maple Leafs livery of Jim in the current leading Audi TT Cup car. Jim will be hoping that he can match the pace of his teammate later on into the racing action today, into the hour. We're only 8.5 minutes in to the 60-minute endurance race today. There is our Saito in 7th, and we've got Thrasher in 8th place. But Dirksey leads Brum and Camzilla at the front of our race. There is Thrasher saying, where's the beef in a Wendy's liveried Lamborghini? I didn't get your family order from Wendy's, Alexandra, last week. last race, so I'm still waiting to hear about that one. K Morris in 9th, Kuros Kai in 10th place in Team Mountain Dew's Mazda. We've got Slug in the Perrier Chevy, and Larry in P12 at the back of the grid, only faster at the moment than the safety car driver, who is Chaotica, waiting for that 12th lap, and he's going to be there a long time by the look of things. We're only still on lap 4. It is Dirksey leading. Brum, who goes wider than Camzilla on the exit of turn 8. Uphill we go, over the crest and in towards turn 7 and 6 as we run through. Just a reminder, we're operating with reversed numbers today on the turns because I couldn't find the right configuration on the track map to call them properly. This is the Minnesota Wild, a strange old name for a hockey team. It's not an animal, or it's all the animals. I'm not quite sure, but Minnesota the same. There is P2 Brum out wide to a late apex, running through the final corner today in the WD-40, hoping that he doesn't get any WD-40 on his tyres. Front left on the Renault Megane, looking good. The gold rims looking absolutely fabulous out there. A little bit too much bling for a Batmobile, perhaps, as Dirksey and Camzilla still contest over this podium with Brum, and we've got Mercury hot on the heels at this stage, having just had a slight issue going through the S's on the lap 3, I think it was. Jim has cleared Siam now and is in P5. Sunset golden hour is approaching, and the sun is glinting off our very clean race cars as Siam is out there in P6 with the matte off-white beige colour scheme of the Michelin Speed Stars. It's not, as I said, doesn't really match the Ford GTs, with the exception perhaps of those stripes down these off-centre stripes down one side of the car. But some good battling going on for that 6th, 7th, 8th positions with Arsaito and with Thrasher. It's a very wintry. I feel like this Mountain Dew livery, this whiteout livery, should have been reserved for the final race of the season as we headed into December for the Mountain Dew Mazdas. I don't know if they're sticking with whiteout for the whole season. But look at this from Arsaito down the inside. He worked hard to get that overtake. It took a long time and a lot of patience. This was powering out of the previous corner, and he saw his opportunity. Just rolled off the brake on the way into the corner, just hoping that the front left would stick. He'll just have to take that extra tyre wear on this run through, and then try and preserve the tyre later on in the stint. But the drivers on the hard tyres, and they're still chewing up like crazy. They will be well ahead of the safety car period for the first pit stop. I wouldn't be surprised to see drivers go for a set of hards and then softs in the inside. That is Kuros Kai just climbing all over the apex. He's got a penalty on this lap as it is. Larry up from the back into P10. That will give some encouragement to both Runks and, of course, any of Larry's family watching. All through Alexandra's account, of course. Big thank you to the family for supporting the channel as a fully paid up member of Webbo Commentary channel. I appreciate it all the time. Here comes Dirksey coming by in P1, just half a second slower than his very fastest. Brum has been incredibly competitive today. Really getting used to this Renault Megane trophy. I know he was starting to really enjoy it when I talked to him while we were doing a Webstay casual race series on a Wednesday night here in the UK and Europe. Camzilla in P3. You can find some of those races on this channel. Try to do a multi-POV stream if wherever possible. Mercury in P4. It's just being gapped slightly. He's nearly 5 seconds away from Dirksey's lead, but of course with the safety car this will all be neutralised. Jim looks good out there, doesn't want to use too much in the way of the tyre, and is protecting that front left very, very well. Let's just compare his tyre wear directly with his race leading teammate And you can see how much protection Jim has been going through. And this partly explains why Jim so often comes very, very good towards the end of the racing stints and the tyre life. It does seem like he is a much more careful Alain Prost style racer who can protect the tyres and come good towards the end. Vader cheering on Brum. That's great to see. Vader, I hope you've been doing some good racing this afternoon as usual. Vader hopefully will be featuring in my next commentary, I think, which will be we're in the Ukrainian Racing League on iRacing next Sunday on their channel, not mine. This is Jim in P5. Our Saito, Thrasher and Siam have all swapped around a little bit. Siam was leading this group earlier on, no longer. Saito being cheered on by Preston as Saito is in P6. Here is Thrasher. Siam closing in, munching away at the diffuser of the Huracan GT3 car, GT4 car, sorry, it's not a GT3, it'd be a lot quicker, in the Wendy's livery. And Saito leading this group now. I'm waiting for that safety car. They're only halfway through the first stint of this race before the safety car comes in. It's got to feel almost Singapore-like in its Singapore Grand Prix-like in its longevity. This race to the drivers, especially to the safety car, it's going to feel like a really long time. Thrasher absolutely diving down and smashing into the barrier, just getting way too much into the corner there. Unfortunately for our close racing we had, I don't know if he saw a gap here, but he was just crossing around behind the car in front. Saito is protecting the tyre. Thrasher wasn't expecting it, and this is what happens through those S's as things kind of condense quite a lot. But Thrasher will continue to fight again. Larry up a place again, now up into P9, and has got by Thrasher, who had some damage for a moment there as one of the Chevrolets, it's Mercury, has made his first pit stop off the hard tyre. These American-made muscle car originated models today are not faring well on their front tyres here at Kyoto Driving Park. Larry into P8 then, of course, clearing Mercury, who was in the pits. Kuros Kai is in 11th. Slug is currently in the pits in the Chevy, refueling, retiring up for the next phase of the race. It is lap 7 for the leader, Dirksey, who runs through turn 12 at the moment, as Brum still is keeping him honest. And Brum has been working really hard to show well in Deviant. He's gone fully signed up member of just about every racing series that Deviant run at a UK compatible time. Washing out a little bit. I can't pretend to understand the Japanese characters there on this side. It's some sort of Japanese hotel, the M Hotel in Japan. I don't know if that's got anything to do with the Dark Knight scenes held in Japan, maybe. But Brum in P2, Camzilla in P3 in the very blinged out Batmobile. It's probably more of a Lego Batmobile perhaps as we go through. Jim the Tyre Whisperer says Vic. Absolutely. As I noticed, Vic, you've got your pizza restaurant's logo on the distinguished. Vic, fill me in here as to who is the official title sponsor of the race today for the distinguished GT3s, please. I can see it's almost like a Honda Type R sticker on the side for I don't know what, but that's because it's not Team Distinguished. I can see Yves Saint Laurent, I can see Bulgari, Vix, Modelo, but I'm not sure who is the official sponsor. So I'm glad you're here to help us. Team Cross Border Competition, Jim in the Audi TT. He's 16.8 seconds away from the lead, but he's opened up an absolute gulf of a gap back to P5. He was fighting with that group behind. K Morris likewise has a bit of a gap behind his VW Scirocco 2. This, wow, fantastic racing going on back in the mid-pack at the moment as they run through here. A mixture of cars who have pitted, cars who are pitting and will pit there. And Thrasher in 9th. Where is Larry? He's up to P6 now as Larry's got ahead of his teammate. Let's just check out what just happened with Larry there, because that's a little bit confusing. He was just a little bit slow out of the previous corner. His teammate closing in. Larry's got his blinker on, but he didn't go into the pit lane, so fooling everybody on the way in. No actual contact or anything, although Larry does have a slightly dinged up car. Oh, thanks, Brunks. Appreciate that. You've got to go over to the Broncos game. Well, that's the best way to exit a video rather than the Irish goodbye. I'll call that the Runks goodbye. Thanks so much. But cheering on Larry, Siam and Cam, of course, and running through then. Runks, great sportsman after yesterday. So appreciate both his sportsmanship and his patronage here today, as Thrasher on the outside looking for that inside move on Mercury. Doesn't quite get in. There's 40 minutes remaining. We are 2/3 of the way only through to our safety car period. It is lap 8 of the first 12 that we will see with the safety car. There is Siam trying to hold on here, but he's got a half-second penalty coming up. That is on the exit out of the northwest corner of turn 6. Mercury's going to get him before then, though, as Siam tries to go switchback here. Thrasher will get him, I'm sure, as well, thanks to that half-second penalty off throttle. But big thanks to Big Runks and anybody who can spare anything for a tip today. I appreciate it, but if you can't, then please just support the channel with any of the buttons underneath. Say particularly that new hype button. I think that's supposed to power some discoverability on YouTube. Greg saying glad to see Cam on the track. Absolutely, and doing well as well today. Cam in P2 as Dirksey has pitted now, as his tyres are just about to give up on him and the Audi TT. But contrast that with the tyre longevity of Jim, who gains nothing in terms of lap count, but he just wants to get onto a new set of tyres, I think, on this lap 8. 1/3 distance, so pitting after that point presumably is very much plan A for team cross-border competition in the Audi TT Group 3s. Brum leads the race once again, but mostly down to the pit stop of Dirksey, and I think Brum on the Renault, that front left, will definitely be in need of a changeover. I think he'd be running 9, 8, possibly 7 lap stints on his tyres. Maybe go for a double hard and medium tyre combination today. But they may decide to go for another set of non-ideal tyres, either softs or hards, at this point prior to the safety car, and then switch them under safety car conditions on the second lap and be able to run to the end. That could be too difficult, though, by the time they get through to that point. We will be into the second half of the race, but are we into the third of the race? I don't think so. The final third of the race, I should say. I don't think we'll be quite that long and deep into this race by the time the safety car has finished. We went for 2 full laps under the safety car in GTD Pro. I assume that is going to be the plan today for the GT3s, but it was quite a long hold there, and so quite a lot of the race distance being used out. We haven't exactly optimized the aerodynamics with that tow ribbon on the front of the VW Scirocco for Camzilla here. The GT3s do look noticeably slower parts on this circuit than the GT4s, of course. Some would say there is actually more skill involved in driving a GT4 because it's all about maintaining momentum. You really can't make up for lost momentum with the horsepower differential. There's K Morris in 4th, Mercury in 5th, Thrasher in 6th with Larry down in 7th right now. And what's he doing to those tyres here? That's probably not advisable on the tyre, but maybe he's just been off and he's needing to clean them up. Here's Larry. So I hope that Alexandra has got the tequila ready for post-race celebrations or commiserations. And maybe if he doesn't win, he'll be exchanging a bottle of tequila for his wedding ring. It is Siam in 8th, Jim in 9th, and Brum has now pitted and got Camzilla into the lead of our race. Camzilla in the all-pink distinguished VW Scirocco. Did Vic actually tell me who the sponsor is? I don't think he did. No. But Brum then, fat and full with fuel. Brum comes out just behind K Morris there on a new set of soft tyres. So Brum is doing exactly what I mentioned, which is to run the softs for a short period until the end of the safety car pit lane closure, and he'll be able to pit on that second safety car lap, officially lap 13, and come back round and catch the field on a new set of tyres. But will they reach the end? He will have to use the mediums, as he used the hards at the start of the race. So this is a good opportunity to use the mediums if you want to run the majority of the race on the hard tyres. We shall see. Binkit cheering on Brum. Binkit unable to be with us today, but we're looking forward to your much hyped livery next time out, I do believe. And thank you for tuning in, even though you can't race. Appreciate it. There is Brum in the Batmobile, running behind K Morris. He'll be slightly frustrated here because K Morris is on very old medium tyres. Brum might be able to sneak up the inside now into one of these long right-handers when the old tyres will be dead or dying, as Brum does exactly that. Up into third place. K Morris is going to keep fighting though. But Brum just about holding on. Remember, Brum is vying for a potential victory today, but his gap to Dirksey pitting 1 or 2 laps earlier, is now 6.8 seconds. So a huge differential with the undercut there for Dirksey. Kamzilla still leads this race, and he's up there in P1. Reminder, this is the GTD series of the GT World Challenge at Deviant Racing League. Brought to you today by Vic's Pizza, as you saw in the intermission and the very start of the previous video on the channel. As you can see, the sun is setting quite quickly out here. Kamzilla finally pits off the medium tyre. He really did make that last tremendously. Dirksey in P2. He's on a new set of mediums. Brum 6.2 seconds behind Dirksey. We'll be hoping he can stay ahead of Kamzilla after Cam's pit stop. Let's join Brum on board here. Appropriate enough, got a yellow centre line indicator on the steering wheel. Let's see behind. We should see Cam appear in the pit lane. There he is. So it's a good deal further back now is Kamzilla. The undercut very powerful, more so in the GT4 than in the GT3 cars we saw earlier on, perhaps. And Kamzilla then in P3. Lots of cars pitting on this one on lap 11, the final lap before the safety car is due to come out. Eat slow, go fast, says Vic. That's your pizza restaurant's slogan, I believe. Mercury in P5, K Morris in P6 has just come out of the pits. They're on a new set of hard tyres. Whether he will be able to get those home, I think is going to be a big question mark. Saito's still on his medium tyres that he started on. He will have a better shot of getting home. I'm confused though, because that Mazda seems to have used hardly any fuel at this stage of the race. Larry has just pitted. Back out now, Larry in P9 with 1 or 2 cars in front of him who have yet to pit. And where are the leaders at the moment? They are coming uphill through turns 11 and 10, heading into the double right-left hairpin section of turn 9 and 8, which the safety car driver is waiting for his chance to come out here. Dirksey gaining absolutely nothing here from extending a lead to Brum, because it's all going to disappear. No pit stop incoming from Dirksey. He's got lots of life on those tyres, as we wonder why the radiator has been painted white inside the Minnesota Wild Audi TT today. It's a weird look. Could just be a sticker projection issue. Brum then 6.6 seconds. Remember, the soft tyres for Brum can't pit on this lap. The pit lane will be closed, but he can pit on the next time around. But the whole field will have condensed, so it's a bit of a chance you're taking, and he still has to run one of the required tyre types before the end of today's race. Kamzilla's in third. Jim is fighting Kamzilla here. Cam on slightly newer hard tyres, but Jim has got the medium tyres up to temperature. Dirksey comes out of the final corner. The safety car has already exited, and he's actually stationary and waiting for Dirksey. there is a yellow flag for Dirksey. That indicates that the safety car driver is there and waiting halfway round the first corner, and our safety car period will commence now on this 12th lap after 29 minutes of racing. Let's have a look while we've still got some daylight at the Minnesota Wild livery here for the cross-border competition. Love the theme this season, celebrating things that Americans and Canadians enjoy. We've had beer and now we've got hockey teams. This is the Batmobile. A lot of love for this one, with the extra adornments in that yellow gold livery there with the bats. So I hope that that you've been able to call in the kids, Alexandra, and you can let us know which are their second favourite liveries, because of course their favourite will be Larry's. So Bulgari, Modelo, Yves Saint Laurent, and something else. Vic's Pizza is the distinguished, celebrating premium brands here. Premium brands and Vic's Pizza. I love this actually from Jim. There's a simplicity and the metallic blue really does rock out here. Radio Canada for Team Cross Border Competition, who have actually instigated their own livery with the two national flags. Now the move over is great, but to be a true Canadian, it should either say "move over A" or "move over please" on the front there. But yes, really like that colour combination. I know it's for the hockey team, the Maple Leafs. Then we've got a great sort of retro style racing livery for the Goodwrench Service Plus sponsored Chevy for Mercury in Team OG, celebrating all things retro. The Wendy's livery for Thrasher. Vic says it's a premium brand too. 30 pounds for a margarita. Thanks. Thanks, Vic. I was making a joke. Of course Vic's pizza are a premium brand. Fresh Never Frozen Wendy's. Let me know your favourite Wendy's food. I've never had the pleasure myself. Thanks for the Webbo.com stickers also on the slightly asymmetric. It does kind of have the look of a Honda racing car. I have to say, this VW Scirocco. It's got a Type R feel to it. We're still with the whiteout for the Team Mountain Dew colour scheme. There's something Christmassy about this one, and I wish it had been held, or it will return for Christmas, potentially. It's a Glovas livery here, and they're using the Michelin tyres, which are not helping Saito stay on the track during the safety car period. He's actually damaged the car. He's limping around. He's waiting for the pit lane to reopen. It will reopen now for him. But yeah, he's damaged the car and he's heading into the pit lane. The Michelin Speedstars cars, this is Siam. No change for this race. No cherry blossom. Nothing celebrating their homeland in the Honda NSX. Losing points for originality and variation. But Team Michelin Speedstars. Once again, Mountain Dew with the whiteout, and then we've got the Perrier sponsored Chevy in the Team OG. As I said earlier on, it looks like Larry has disconnected, unfortunately, and I wonder if we'll lose some audience as a result, or maybe we'll gain a Larry audience as well. But Larry has disconnected from the server and won't be able to find a way back, despite the fact that we're in a safety car procedure. Cars in the pits then, just completing their tyre changes. I have to say, Kuroskai did a great job to get all the way through that one. Comes back out then, new set of hard tyres. Might be able to get home here. He'll be able to just cruise to the back of the Crocodile, or Alligator as we're US based here. Might be able to just cruise round in the Mazda Group 3 and possibly be able to get home. He hasn't fully fueled this car, which is a bit of a surprise to me. I would have thought we would have a fully fueled up car if we were running this late, but I've just noticed the Polaris sponsorship on the back wing. And what does that say? Is it Ecolab on the rear wing as well. Waiting then for the safety car period to be over. As I say, it's kind of a half a lap too long really in the Group 3s, in the GT4s I should say. The Batmobile of Brum closing in to contest. So we've got soft tyres on Brum's car. We've got medium tyres on Dirkzey's. Soft tyres have gone through a heat cycle, but he didn't run light on fuel either, Brum, during this soft tyre sequence. I wonder if he looks back on this race and thinks that's a missed opportunity to do that. But of course, only a small amount of time actually spent on the soft tyres, and most of that will be under the safety car period. We are 25 minutes remaining then. It will probably be 24 minutes by the time we cross the line and get a green flag to resume today. But that's just how it is, of course, here at Deviant. Let me know who you think is going to be the winner today. We've got Dirkzey, who's been very strong. Brum has been fighting like crazy. And Camzilla also, who has led briefly as he's had slightly better fuel usage. Can Jim hang on to secure a podium today as well? All the questions remaining to us. Will anybody run out of fuel? Without giving any spoilers, we did have a driver run out of fuel in the GTD Pro series. And Mercury's there in P5 as well. Excuse me. But I think perhaps hasn't quite had the pace of the 4 cars ahead of him. Brum's going to squeak it out, says Binkett. That would be fantastic for Brum, I think, to be only in his 3rd race here at the GT World Challenge by Deviant Racing, and to get himself a win. Zen says he'll have to pit early and it will hurt. I'm surprised he didn't pit under this safety car period on this 2nd lap. The horns are blaring. The safety car will now peel across to one side. It should have peeled across to one side. Dirkzey becomes the controller of the race, and he now gets to choose when to launch, as long as he doesn't make more than one definitive acceleration point here. There he is. As soon as he's possibly able to accelerate in the corner, he does. And here we go. Green flag racing for the remaining 23 minutes of our GTD race. It is Dirkzey leading Brum. Larry has rejoined the room, but I don't think we'll get back into his car. I think that's impossible in GT7. You can do it in F1, but you can't do it in GT7. K Morris ahead with Siam just dropping down a few places. There is Thrasher in P8. Siam goes around the outside, tries to slot back in and minimize his losses, but the restart was not kind to Siam. Saito in 9th, Slug in 10th, Kuros Kai in 11th. But Dirkzey and Brum continue to fight. Brum will have a bit of grip left for a lap or two, but that is all he will have. We're still expecting, though, I would imagine, another pit stop from most of our front runners here. We have hard tyres on Camzilla's car, and he has the most amount of fuel of anybody. So if anyone can make it, Camzilla will be the guy to do it on the hard tyres to the end of the race, but he is now defending hard. Jim still has his hazard lights on at the moment. Mercury slightly close behind Jim. Both drivers on medium tyres. Jim stopping later thanks to his better fuel conservation, as Brum is just 0.3 of a second behind Dirkzey. And is he flattering to deceive here? Will he be able to keep these soft tyres alive so that he can use the mediums? Just one more pit stop to go. In an ideal world, he would clear Dirkzey and gain a few seconds on his run into the pits, but I think this is his only lap remaining to him where the tyres will be competitive. And I think if he fails to get by Dirkzey, I think he might decide to get into the pit lane and get running. But Camzilla 3rd, Jim in 4th, Mercury in 5th, Thrasher 6th, K Morris in 7th with Siam in 8th, 9th is Saito, 10th is Slug, and Kuros Kai is 11th position, and lacking a little bit of pace today, but just trying to get those hard tyres up to temperature. Don't think he's got enough fuel to run to a finish here, despite being on new hard tyres. We follow through the S's then, And it is nose to tail stuff between P1 and 2, and then 3, 4, 5 following in close succession on this, the first of our green flag racing laps after the pit stops and safety car. More importantly, Brum does not go into the pit lane. Will he regret that? Look at that front left. Surely that's going to be too worn to be competitive on the 15th lap here at the end of this lap, but that will be a dead cert pit stop for him on the end of this 15th lap, and denies him the chance to undercut. I would expect Dirksey for an additional lap. Anyway, it's Camzilla in third. Fourth is Jim, and chasing down hard and possibly trying to get 2 Audi TT cross-border competition cars on today's podium here. Despite starting back in the midfield, Jim could well be on a run here for a provisional podium. Looking good out there right now, both in pace and in livery in the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is just Brum snaking around this tricky, very highly technical track. Got a bit of side-by-side action there. Slug and K Morris. Looks like Slug making his way by. We'll try and have another look at that one. Here is Slug. This is on board Slug with the Chevy Corvette Group 3. Just getting down that inside line, and then on the brakes, on the better braking position, leaving really good, respectful space, possibly too much space in the end, but he made that move stick and has made his way through into P9 ahead of K Morris. There he is in P10. Again, K Morris, the most likely. Oh, Slug has just lost all that advantage he gained and gone out onto the grass, unfortunately. Oh no, I'm just got to read the essay from Larry here. Kuros Kai still on the back of this train. So Larry lost all audio, unplugged headphones, which turned out to be his wheel that he unplugged, and the adapter. Can't restart, so just got out of everybody's way. Sorry about that, Larry, unfortunately. I'm doubly sorry for you and your marital happiness. If you go back in the chat, you'll see exactly why. Just check out what your wife's been saying in the live chat just after she joined. And happy anniversary. What may be your last? Anyway, I'm sure it's not. Anyway, Mercury just made his way through past Jim. Brum is running out of those tyres just as predicted, and he's trying to cut across into the pit lane. He's made it through. Now this could work out beautifully, or it could be absolutely horrible for Brum. He's got to try and get a set of tyres on to finish this race out. Mercury's looking great though out there in P3. Brum's going to have to stem those losses and try and undercut the drivers, most of whom I think will be stopping again. Only the drivers on the hard tyres, potentially Cam here. If he can just hold on to this road position in P2. Dirksey might have checked out, but Camzilla's on the hard tyres. He's got lots of fuel on the car. I'm sure strategy expert Zen will be able to fill me in as to where the Cam, looking at just about 74% on the fuel and a set of hard tyres with 17 racing minutes to go, might be able to make the end of this race in a VW Scirocco, possibly. Alexandra is just... Look, I gotta stir the pot for the engagement. You know how it works. Alexandra, my apologies. But yeah, Larry and Alex having a great laugh here on the channel as always. Rare that we get to see them both live chatting together on the video. I thought I was safe, Alexandra, that you would have gone the minute Larry had retired from the race. So I've learned my lesson. My apologies. Camzilla in second. We've got Mercury in P3 and Thrasher coming good now, despite having a very wayward start to this race. Behind them, Jim. This is a great battle as they try to get into it. And Mercury, well, I think that was somewhat circumspect. He got into the back of Camzilla, did Mercury, and he's going to take advantage of that contact. I thought he would feather the throttle there, but that's a little bit dodgy. Mercury just using a little bit of the bump and run. Camzilla might not be feeling too generous about this. Yes, he's on hard tyres, so he is at a disadvantage in terms of grip and outright pace, but he has every right to hold on to his position, and it's going to compound into 2 places lost, possibly even 3 places lost, as Jim gets into the slipstream behind Thrasher and all the way through. Wow, Camzilla from 2nd to 5th as he goes through there, and he was just taking the racing line, got a little touch in the rear that put him off his ideal acceleration point out of the corner, and that is just compounded into a 3-place loss. So let me know what you think about Mercury's tactics there. P2 for him though at the moment in the Chevy. Camzilla still in a better position on the hard tyres, but will he have too little grip for too long in the race and end up at a disadvantage overall? Thrasher looking great though right now. It looked like that Lamborghini was in all kinds of trouble in qualifying, but Thrasher's found something throughout the course of the race. We have 15 minutes to go in the race. I'm gotta say, I think that Camzilla is looking like he can make the end of the race on fuel, and I think that would be the first thing to run out on his hard tyre shod strategy at the moment. Headlights are on. Sunset is in full swing. Mercury's in second. Dirksey leads by 7.5 seconds thanks to all this back and forth between the two of them, as Thrasher in P3. Whoa, Jim! Oh dear me, I think that might have been more accidental. Yeah, he's released Thrasher back to his position as Jim absolutely dive bombed Thrasher. I think he might have missed his braking zone there for a moment as we come down. This is a really difficult corner, and then he avoids him by basically taking the apex. Good save from Jim in the end. We'll get a style point for that, and of course for sporting behaviour, which is what we like to see. Mercury. There is Camzilla in P5 chasing down Jim as he closes in now, and we wait to see if Cam has the advantage here. Wow, see him drives over our camera position, as does our Saito behind him. News of Brum. Where is Brum at right now? He's right at the very back of the grid. He has lost 25 seconds total to Dirksey. Now that might well even grow because he's stuck behind slightly slower runners at this point. Medium tyres for Brum, brand new medium tyres, and I think he almost got into the back of Kuros Kai there. Just missed timing his run. He's got so much more speed in the Renault over the Mazda, it seems, today here at Kyoto driving park. And Brum needs to make that move as quickly as possible because he's just lost a further second out to Dirksey. Down the inside goes Brum, grinding the curb on the apex off turn 6, grinding in a skateboard sense. I'm sure he will raise an eyebrow when he hears me saying that. But through the S's we go then. Brum back to 10th, and his project here is to try and keep within the pit stop window of Mercury's lead of the race now that Dirksey's gone into the pits, so that gap has grown considerably. That's an off for Slug straight off there at the final corner, unfortunately for him. Where is Brum going to feed out of the pit lane relative to Dirksey? Oh dear me, code brown for Brum there as we come through, and the driver just appears out of nowhere. They literally appear out of nowhere, but he's taking the racing line here. I'm not sure if he's got Dirksey coming out of the pits in front of him, but this is Jim just there. Just nothing Brum can do about it, but he managed to hang on. That was very tight. We just happened to be in driver POV there for a moment, as Brum might have been pulling a slightly different expression than his helmet was showing. 6.3 seconds Brum's deficit to Dirksey, who's on the medium tyres. Brum has bedded those medium tyres up to temperature. Now Dirksey is stuck behind Saito and K Morris here on much worse tyres, which will help Brum catch Dirksey. But can it help Brum fight for the outright lead of the race? Saito, Morris, side by side into the difficult turn 12, the long right-hander, and Saito just hanging on, I think, just getting that position by Dirksey's going to try and follow him through past the baby pink K Morris, but Morris hanging on here. He's he's only really got eyes to try and take that position back from Saito, but Dirksey blasts by in the Audi, in the race-leading paced Audi TT Cup car for the group, the GT4s, and Dirksey just having to check his pace there on the way into the second of the two back-to-back hairpins. He'll get some good drive off the corner. He should be able to get the inside line going through this turn 6 now and make his way through. Potentially he'll have much better grip. No, he's just mistimed it. Unfortunately, Saito is very slow at the apex. Dirksey might have been expecting him to drift wide, but instead Saito reduced his speed in order to hold that apex. This is hurting Dirksey, and Brum is closing in now. He's only just under 4 seconds away from Dirksey, and chances are Brum won't have to get past these two because they will pit momentarily. Saito holding the inside line, presumably holding the right-hand side of the track because he wants that pit lane entry. Dirksey right round the outside. Here comes Saito into the pit lane. K. Morris will not dart across. It will just be Saito into the pit lane. Mercury and Thrasher are there too. Camzilla holding out a 10.9 second lead on old hard tyres with 50% of his fuel still remaining. 10 minutes to go for Camzilla. Could well be doing a one stop here, and K. Morris could be doing the same thing. He's also on a similar strategy, just a tiny bit less fuel on board for K. Morris. I hope nobody runs out of fuel at the end of this race. It's a horrible way to see a race finish. Brum still has his right-hand indicator light on the Renault Megane Trophy. Jim is still in the mix here. They could all catch K. Morris and Camzilla in the distinguished VW Scirocco's to see the end of the race. We could have a very close podium battle still on our hands with 9:20 left to go. There is Thrasher in the Wendy's Lamborghini. Have Wendy's ever sponsored a Lamborghini race car? I'm not exactly sure on that one. Jim, though, in the Maple Leafs Audi TT Cup car is catching Brum, and Brum in the Batmobile is working the wheel hard and trying to get these mediums home. Those that front left not looking too good for Brum. It's going to be a long 9 minutes of racing for Brum to run this. We're running 2.5 minute laps. We have 8 and just about a half minute left to go. Camzilla leads us by 8.1 seconds. Dirksey so far has managed to close that gap by 2 seconds. K. Morris is running out of grip. Brum is running out of grip too on the exit of the left-hander, funnily enough. But it is Jim then closing right in here on Brum. Jim, who's been whispering to the tyres, dancing around, and there he is, currently with much better grip, a much later pit stop for Jim. And we know that Audi is quick today because Dirksey has been absolutely rocking it. So I wonder if there'll be any tips on team radio being exchanged. Now that certainly, well, they've caught K. Morris as well. I wonder if Morris has had a problem, been off at all. But right now, Brum should be able to find his way by the distinguished Morris in P3 very, very quickly. I imagine. I can't remember what Pokemon that is. That all pink Pokemon. As is it also breast cancer month? I wonder. That's the other thing. My local town are celebrating everything pink at the moment as well. So I wonder if it is breast cancer month too. Brum on the inside, on the way into a tricky chicane, and the Batmobile just able to live with this one as K. Morris is completely swamped. Jim versus Brum go side by side into the second of the hairpins, and Jim's got by. Jim's in the provisional podium places now with better grip than Brum in the Renault, perhaps a little bit less in the way of balance overall. But Jim, for the cross-border competition, who are leading the championship going into today's racing, might well be extending that lead with a double podium here for the US and Canadian partnership It's Camzilla leading Dirksey by just 5.3 seconds with 6.5 minutes left to go. It's a chase on here, but it is absolutely frantic for the final place on the podium. Mercury is still very much in the hunt here, and behind him now Morris in 6th with Thrasher in 7th place. Morris has not been able to hold on with the hard tyres. Camzilla is pacing himself to the end, watching that gap reduce as he is sweating his way to the finish of this race, feeling pretty tough here. Zen looks like he's just joined us for a moment. No, Zenith Specs has joined us just to spectate the end of this one. Should be watching the channel, frankly. But there is Thrasher in P7. And he's on the back of this one, hoping to pick up the pieces. But Mercury versus Brum continues. Brum's got the inside lane. He's still indicating correctly to more than half of the corners here on this clockwise circuit overall. Brum then just hanging on, but Mercury is hungry for this, you have to say. Mercury P5, Brum P4. Brum would absolutely love a maiden podium here today. He was fighting and competing, but I just think the strategy wasn't there for him today, I'm sad to say. But Mercury in P5. There is Brum P4. Yeah, Brum was fighting with Dirksey for the outright win of the race. Dirksey may still make a challenge here for the overall win. We'll just check in with that. It's 2.6 seconds, but there's only just under 5 minutes to go, so we should be at about the penultimate lap, possibly. Maybe there'll be an extra lap for the lead pair here, so Dirksey might still have a chance to compete, because if he can just stretch this to an extra lap, just make sure that Camzilla is pushing hard, we may get a final lap. I'm not quite sure how close they were to crossing the line at the 5-minute mark. There goes K. Morris, I think, down the inside. Well, he's defending possibly from Thrasher and hanging on right now. Side by side they go in the dark conditions here as we're in the sunset. Thrasher and Morris just coming together into these hairpins. Up ahead, Mercury still chases down Brum. There's possibly, I'm not sure there was contact. I think Brum was losing that on his own. The front left, he'll be hoping he can even make the final lap of this race. Brum, by the feeling of that tyre, as Jim is extending away now. And the gap at the front is 0.7 of a second. Camzilla's tyres are falling off a cliff as we speak, and Dirksey is closing in. So let's see if it will just be one more lap for Camzilla to hold on. Dirksey, by rights, was the fastest driver in qualifying, has been the quickest driver, but it looks like Cam has had the better of the strategies. I wonder if Cam has had to turn the engine down. No, the fuel is absolutely fine. In fact, he's got more fuel on board, just stopping once, than Dirksey has, who stopped twice. Camzilla will try to hold on to this one, but Dirksey is chasing him down. This is absolutely show-stopping at the end of our race. Camzilla versus Dirksey. There's 3 minutes on the clock. They will go for another round. These two, I believe. That is unnecessary at this point of the race to be touching through the S's. You don't need to get it done like this, or quite this desperately. Dirksey around the outside. You could well have the tyre grip on the way through, but Camzilla will understeer through the corner. They manage to equalise each other as they come through. Yellow and white headlights to close in on what will 2:33, 2:32, 2:31 as they cross the line for the final lap. It will just be one more lap in the end for all of our drivers. As Cam is going to try this and really work hard to hold on here. This is going to be absolute heroics if Camzilla can hold on. Looked like Dirksey had the tremendous drive out of the top, the northwest corner, that turn 6, and through the S's, and he'll just be biding his time now. I think he knows that it could be disaster if he fights too hard with Camzilla. They could both lose the win, but they've got a 5.4 second gap over Jim. Brum is holding on ahead of Mercury by just 0.4 of a second, but I don't want to miss the moment where Dirksey goes for it here. It might be into the slow corners. Here we are in that tricky middle section of the raceway, heading through then He'll try and tuck in on the right-hand side of Camzilla, who closes that door. And then Dirksey commits to the outside. Camzilla will use that to his advantage and try and just slow the car to the apex. Try not to give the outside-inside switch back an option. Dirksey just getting the overlap, but then a snap of oversteer. It looks like Dirksey's made his way by into the lead of the race on the final lap, and that was threading the needle in a very special Audi TT style, outside to inside. The timing on this one, was there contact? I don't think there was. I think he just about got by, but difficult to say at this stage. Let's just double check that contact situation. We'll go side to side here and see as they go through. Was there contact at the apex? Oh, I think he just did it. There was contact on once he got the overlap for sure, but wow. Absolutely tremendous running there from Dirksey. He got himself into P1. Now it's an easy drive away. Mercury's passed Thrasher and Brum, and Thrasher has passed Brum as well. How did that go down? Let's have a look. It was out of our run. It looks like Brum is very slow off the corner. Back then to the racing action at the front of the grid. As going into the final corner comes Dirksey. He had to wait for his opportunity. It came, he took it, and he manages to secure what is a rightful win on pace. Dirksey wins for his cross-border competition team in the end in Kyoto. Camzilla with a well-deserved P2 in the end, but he might have been hoping it was more. Jim in third, Mercury crosses the line in fourth, and Thrasher comes home fifth. Brum fought hard, was contesting the win at the start of the race, comes home in sixth with a possibly non-optimal strategy. Morris in seventh, and Siam rounds the final corner. He will come home as the only Michelin Speedstars Honda NSX today in P8, because we lost Larry, I'm sad to say. Saito and Kuros Kai, it was not Mountain Dew's day at all, and Slug has fought on to come home, and he will take 11th place, some distance back from the outright winners in the end, over half a lap I think in the end, further back. But Dirksey and Camzilla fought that one hard and fair in the end, in my humble opinion anyway. But a great race, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've been able to press all the buttons under the video today. Engage whichever way possible. Thank you for sticking with us through the slightly unfortunate issue that paused the stream during the GTD Pro race, but we managed to get you all the coverage nonetheless. Camzilla second, Dirksey first, Jim home in third place for a 1-3 for the cross-border competition team. That was a terrifically well-fought race. Just to confirm the results then, Mercury in fourth, Thrasher in fifth, Brum home in sixth, K Morris in seventh place, CM eighth, Saito ninth, with Kuros Kai in 10th. Slug is just coming up to the final corner, and he will come home in P11 overall. Chaotica drove our safety car, and he came out at the end there just to have a little drive around. But thank you to him. Thank you to everybody that watched today. And let me know your favourite moment if you're watching after the event as a timestamp in the comments. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time for more Deviant Racing GT World Challenge. But if you subscribe to the channel, you will see plenty of racing action through the week and next weekend. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Well done to Dirksey, and we will catch you on the next race day.